and a pleasant good evening from Virginia Beach, the Sportsplex tonight for the 2020-21 high school football opener. We have the Salem Sun Devils and the Princess Anne Cavaliers squaring off tonight here from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex in this abbreviated 6 weeks regular season and a 4-week postseason journey. Thanks for tuning us here on Facebook Live, joined by the soon-to-be Hall of Fame coach Darnell Moore. He led Woodrow Wilson High School to a state championship. Got a couple of them there back in the day in Fort Smith, as well as a regional championship on this field with Bayside High School of Virginia Beach in 2010 of Oscar Smith. Coach Darnell Moore with us. I am Matt Hatfield here. And Coach Moore, we've got an intriguing matchup tonight as the Salem Sun Devils coming off a 12-0 start back in 2019. Sean Wilson's team going undefeated in the regular season and only giving up 22 points against 11 Beach District foes. They rallied in the regional semifinals on this field to beat Woodside High School out of Newport News, then fell to eventual state champion Maury in the region championship. And then Princess Anne, what a year they had under first-year coach James Yeager. Got them to have their first winning season in literally 18 years. 8-3 for them. They fell to Woodside in a shutout loss to open the season. We got both of these teams ranked in the top 10 of the state in Class 5. Princess Anne checking in at number 8 on VirginiaPreps.com in the Class 5 ranking. Salem at number 6 in the Class 5 rankings. Has the makings to be a very interesting ballgame.
It does. I think that the experience that PA gained last year and having that winning season and having quite a few guys back bodes well for them. I think that it may even give them a little bit of cockiness, coming into this game. However, I know that Sean will have his guys ready defensively, and they are going to be hard to throw the ball on consistently defensively. I think that if Southern team can throw the ball short and make some yaks out of that, they may be all right. But I think defense and running the ball is going to tell a story.
Yeah, yards after the catch. You had a couple guys back in your Bayside days with Demetrius Nicholson, Anthony Cooper. They could do that.
I tell you that, big time.
These Salem guys defensively, they take pride in it. You go back to even before Coach Wilson arrived with Robert Jackson, now the athletic director at Northam High School. They kind of had that moniker of being the Black D. They swung to the ball, they come fast and ferocious. Then under coordinator Vincent Pugh with Coach Jackson, and then Coach Wilson here with then defensive coordinator Jeff McGowan. They kind of have that nastiness about them, and it's that type of element in the air, the rain, the mud, the muck. Although we've got a nice field here tonight, you're going to see as much mud and muck, if you will. But I'm with you. I think the running game is going to dictate a lot here. And the two quarterbacks, it's interesting to see. You got Saquon Miles, who got his experience 2 years ago, calendar-wise, in 2019, a 6-foot-tall, 225-pound junior. He can run it and throw it. And then a newcomer for Princess Anne from Spotswood High School in Harrisonburg, young man by the name of Ryan High, 2,030 yards passing, completed 56% of his passes for 22 touchdowns and 5 interceptions 2 years ago at Spotswood. So the two triggermen both have some talent throwing it and running it, and they're good-sized kids.
They are, and I watched some film on Ryan High. He throws a very good ball. Seems to get rid of the ball fairly quickly, and I think that's going to be a big thing that they're going to have to do here. And as you were saying, that the way that Salem plays defense, recklessly but under control, I think is just in Salem High School DNA. The way they take pride in what they do defensively. I mean, they're going to run to the ball every play. They're going to get 10, 11 guys around the ball every play with that effort to hit somebody.
They certainly will. And as you look at some of the playmakers in this game, we have a number of young men, student athletes that will be going to college to play their football, and a couple of them are already committed or signed. In the case of Isaiah Henderson, a 6'3", 230-pound outside linebacker / defensive end tight end for the Sun Devils. He's going to the Air Force Academy. Zamarion Harrell will wear number 7 for the Sun Devils of Salem High. He's a 6'3", 225-pound linebacker, senior for them and Coach Wilson. And then on the other side, the flip side for Princess Anne, they have a young man verbally committed at last check to Louisiana Monroe. We'll see if he ends up there. I don't think he's actually signed the letter of intent yet. Number 50, James Smith, goes by the nickname of Terminator, 6'3", 235-pound defensive lineman, and a junior who's already verbally committed to North Carolina in Tyshawn Chapman, a.k.a. Little Doc, they call him, 5'9", 165 pounds. He's athletic, he's explosive, and now he's changing numbers from number 2 to number 1, which was once worn by Tony Grimes, who's got a lot of playing time as a true freshman at UNC down there in Chapel Hill.
Yes, I think that Chapman is going to be a marked man by Salem. You know, they're going to be tough on him. They're going to have to find somewhere else to go with the ball. You know, because they're not going to let Chapman beat him. I just don't believe that they're going to let Chapman beat him. You know, they're going to have to give him some of those at the line of scrimmage screens and try to get him loose and that type of thing. Even with that, you know, again, that defense is so daggone tough. You know.
It really is, and Zakir Brown, another one that's a player to watch out for, number 4 for Princess Anne, 5'9", 170-pound running back, has not committed yet. He's only a junior. Salem's got a couple other seniors to watch out for. Desmond Green, number 15. I think he's headed to James Madison, if memory serves me right, for Salem. 5'10", 185 pounds. Had a big catch to win in the regular season game, a couple years back against Tallwood, and was a key factor for them making the playoffs and having that 12-0 start. And keep an eye for Malachi Jones. He's a 6'1", 160-pound senior, maybe one of the more unheralded skill position players in the Beach District. So a lot of talent on the field tonight. We thank you for tuning in with us here on Facebook Live as the Beach District football season gets underway. And Coach Warren, there's also some other games going on around the area tonight here in Hampton Roads and also in the Beach District, as you have Ocean Lakes visiting Kellam, you have Lansdowne traveling to Tallwood, Bayside at First Colonial, Cox at Kempsville. It's going to be interesting, and you once having coached in this Beach District for quite a while, not everybody's playing the same number of teams or even the same number of games. I think most everyone has 5 games with the exception of Bayside, who has 6. They don't lose their bye week. And then the one team that's not in action tonight, Green Run, will get underway next week. This could be very topsy-turvy all year long in the Beach District.
It could, and it's one of those seasons that, you know, you lose a ball game, you might be out of the playoffs. And I tell you, you look at Ocean Lakes, who have quite a few guys returning. They may have an inside track in Division 6. Lansdowne has a good group of guys coming back. I think, though, for any of the teams, they got to make sure they got a trigger man. Okay? If they don't have a trigger man, all of the games are going to be close.
And a blend of veteran coaches and new coaches on the scene. You know about some of the established names like Joe Jones at Ocean Lakes, Tommy Riemann at Lansdowne. Then you got some young coaches on the rise, James Yeager at Princess Anne. You think of Brandon Williams at Green Run and others. So it should be interesting. We'll take a quick pause for the national anthem and come back with some more thoughts as we get ready for kickoff. So there you have it, the national anthem, as we are set to get underway here in just a little bit, just under 7 minutes from kickoff here tonight with the Salem Sun Devils and the Princess Anne Cavaliers, 2 teams with designs of making noise and qualifying for the postseason in Region 5A. And Coach Moore, you brought up a good point about the playoffs now for Region 5A and all the regions across the state for Virginia High School League football this year. They have condensed the postseason format from 5 weeks, 5 rounds to 4. So that chops off the quarterfinals, if you will, for regional action, going back to the years of, it's almost like yesteryear, where it's just 4 teams making it. You have some 8-2, 9-1 teams missing it.
Staying home.
It's a different situation now, where you could have very possibly a 4-1 team miss the playoffs. Region 5A is very deep. In fact, you have the reigning state champs in Class 5 at Region 5A with the Maury Commodores out in Norfolk.
Right. It's going to be very interesting with the season being shortened like this, and you know, if you can go 5-0, you're in really, really good shape. And I'm wondering if you get 2 teams to go 5-0, what's going to decide How they go? Is it going to be a coin toss?
You wouldn't think so.
Or straw?
From what I understand, yeah, we've had that before. Remember back in, I want to say it was 2004. My memory could be wrong with the year here. Maybe in 2005 when you had Kempsville, Kellum, Salem all finished 8-2.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Kempsville's crew got the hard end of that stick there with the draw or the coin toss. But I think they'll go with a power rating system. However, generally that has favored some of the Beach District teams in those head-to-head power rating battles with Southeastern and Eastern District teams.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's the case this year or not.
Yeah, because I think that's because of having the Division 6 teams in the Beach.
I'm with you wholeheartedly. And again, you have in Class 5 from the Beach the likes of Bayside, Cox, First Colonial, Green Run, Princess Anne and Salem, who we see tonight. Over in Class 6, you have the likes of Tallwood, Lancetown. You also have Kellum. So it's a different dynamic when you play 2 or 3 Division 6 schools, as you mentioned, as opposed to a couple of Division 5 teams. Well, we are getting ready for kickoff tonight and the Beach District opener for 2021, the final Friday of February. It just seems so strange to say that. It's a chilly night. It's a rainy night. I don't know if you can see it, all of you out there, but good steady rain falling. And as you were walking up here, it was pretty significant. Conditions, though, both teams have to play in it, so I don't know if that's going to be a factor in terms of favoring one team or the other.
Right, as they say, it's raining on both sides of the field. And, usually in a situation like this, the team that takes care of the ball usually has an advantage. And, with the rain like this, you just don't know how each quarterback throws the ball in the rain. I was watching High. He threw a pretty good ball, consistently throwing the same ball. It was wet. And didn't get a chance to see much of Saquon throwing the ball. But I know he throws the ball short fairly well, but he runs it a ton.
Number 22, Ken Chisler.
Stephen Williams heads up our officiating crew tonight. Head coach again for the Princess Anne Cavaliers, James Yeager. He's assisted by Mike Hill, John Dorset, David Jackson, Mike Carney, Brad Holloman, Aaron Kelly, Jeffrey Bronco, James Myrick, Jason Williams, and Antoine Corbin. The head man for the Salem Sun Devils, Sean Wilson. He's assisted by Dwayne Platt, Rodney Woodhouse, Joey Wood, Jeff McGowan, Shaheem Swinson, Jermaine Bellin, and Jeff Beckenbach. Princess Anne will be wearing the visiting white uniforms with the red numerals. Well, the Sun Devils of Salem High, who are getting ready to enter to our right by the goalpost there, is Amarion Harrell leading that crew out with the red helmets and the black jerseys, red numerals to boot.
Ladies and gentlemen, here come your Sun Devils.
This initially was going to be a home game for Salem Coach Moore, but due to the field conditions and all the rain and saturation this week, moved to the Sportsplex. But that's not really a bad thing for them necessarily, because many teams that will make a playoff push, as yours did years ago, we've seen Ocean Lakes, Lancetown, and Salem, in fact, in recent years, they end up coming to this venue for the big spotlight playoff games.
That's true, and I think that you guys welcome playing on this surface rather than playing on a muddy field any day. And at least it doesn't take too much away from the passing game. And, having to deal with a muddy field, it takes something mentally out of it.
It does. You can see that, and I believe, I'm not mistaken, a couple of Virginia Beach schools are installing turf that will be ready for either the fall of 2021 or next year of 2022. I believe Green Run is one of them, as well as Bayside. Kellum has that beautiful turf over there, and I know it's always a surface that many of the teams, players, coaches enjoy competing on. In fact, the Knights playing host to Ocean Lakes in one of those Beach District games we mentioned earlier this evening. Also got Kempsville and Cox, Lancetown, Tallwood, Bayside, First Colonial. And of course, getting set tonight here for the kickoff, as it'll be the Salem Sun Devils receiving the ball first to our right. In those black uniforms for Princess Anne, they'll be kicking off here. Cavaliers kicker is one Jesse Bonacali, 5'8", 190-pound senior.
I was watching him in warm-up. He kicks the ball fairly well. I would expect that he'll probably get this somewhere down inside the 10, unless they pooch it.
Yeah, special teams can be a factor in these close games. We've seen it time and time again over the years.
Yeah, I think he's setting up to kind of pooch it. I don't think they want to kick it deep.
It's almost, you need the old Charlie Brown Lucy cartoons where you'd have them just don't pull the football away, someone hold it. Bonacali will kick it, and it will sail out of bounds, and there's the yellow laundry on the field with the flag, so the Sun Devils will get it. Of course, I think a lot of teams, as you know over the years, Coach, have worried about the return men taking it deep to start off a game, so sometimes you almost take that as opposed to letting someone demoralize you right out of the game.
Right up, yeah. It's tough when that happens, you know.
So it'll be Salem football 1st and 10 to get things underway here from their own 35-yard line. 12-minute periods here in Virginia High School League football. Devils with Saquon Miles as their quarterback, the junior, 6 foot tall, 225-pound triggerman, as we mentioned. Hands it off to number 3, Jawan Johnson. And not much coming there as that one is blown up. Cavaliers with the number of defenders in on the stop. Included on that tackle, none other than number 58. That is Jaden Truesdell, a senior linebacker, 5'11", 245. It's a minimal gain of about 2 yards on that play. Second and a long 8 or a short 9 here for the Sun Devils.
PA's playing man.
Handoff against the man-to-man defense, and it'll be another carry for the Sun Devils up the middle, brought down by number 9 and number 15. It's going to be Andre Corprew as well as Miguel Rijo as the Sun Devils move forward to about the 41-yard line. We'll call it 3rd and 3. Miles gets the snap out of shotgun. We'll keep it. Up the middle, it's going to be close to a first down before a couple of Cavaliers knock him down, although they say they have the football.
He's down. They're going to call him down.
He looked down to me as well, as you see a couple of players running on that stop. James Smith among them, as well as, I think, Tino Grimes, I should say. Tony's younger brother, Tino Grimes, 6'2", 250-pound senior. So what do you do here, Coach? 4th and a yard. Do you go for it?
Salem going for it.
They lose the ball. It's going to be
it.
loose and no first down, as you saw right there. Andre Corprew came through unblocked, and that'll be a turnover on downs for the Sun Devils. And Princess Anne gets it in Salem territory at about the 40. It'll be the 40-yard line, in fact, where they will mark it.
That's one of the dangers of going up out in the center with a team who 95% of the time are in the shotgun.
So 9:59 to go in this opening quarter. Princess Anne has it at the Salem 40-yard line. No passes on that first possession for Salem, but the Cavaliers get not a 3-and-out, but a 4-and-out there on the turnover on downs. And now it looks like a timeout will be burned by Coach Yeager and the Cavaliers here.
Princess Anne calls timeout.
Curious, Coach, to see how this offensive line does for Princess Anne. You know, against that very tenacious Salem defense, how do they come out of the blocks here?
I just looking there, and they had to call a timeout because one of the offensive linemen wasn't in the game. You know.
Hard to advance with 4 up there blocking
That's
more than
right.
5, right?
Yeah.
It's
starting at a deficit.
One of those linemen doubling both ways is James Smith. You'll see him at number 50 for the Cavaliers. Believe he's lining up at right tackle, Coach.
Yes.
Garrett Valentine to his right at right guard, or to his left, at right guard. Ryan High gets his first snap in a Princess Anne uniform. He hands it off to Tyshawn Chapman, and he is going to make a second effort to get about a yard or two here before he is brought down on the play by the Sun Devils. Credit that tackle to, I think that's going to be number 8 for them, Kmar Carter Gatlin.
Sun Devil 39.
Second and 9 coming up from the 39-yard line of Salem. Anything surprise you formation-wise for either squad here? PA on offense or Salem on defense in this first
No,
series?
that last time I think PA was in the unbalanced line, but I'm see if they're okay. They're moving their offensive linemen around. Okay, they're in the empty set this time, using a tight end.
4 receivers to the left here, and we'll get another whistle here.
Got too many guys.
And
They got 4 receivers over there, tight end, and a wide out down here.
I believe that's a delay of game
Delay
penalty.
of game against.
It is a delay of game, so PA is going to be backed up to the 44-yard line of Salem.
Still second down.
Something's wrong here.
Quick screen thrown out to Michael Newell, the quarterback from a year ago. He'll shake and bake and make a guy miss, and Newell will get out of bounds inside the 20-yard line before he is knocked out of bounds by the Sun Devils. And the former quarterback showing he can get it done at wide receiver.
Yeah, they had a lineman lined up out there as a blocker in that 4 wide out set to the left, number 58.
27-yard gain for Newell, as it'll be at about the 17-yard line. They'll mark him out of Salem.
This is the same set again to the side.
Just, shifted over in motion. 2 guys in motion. Now it's going to be a fumble as they try to throw the little jet toss, and it's going to be picked up, though, by Chapman as they're trying to get their explosive weapon in space, but the Sun Devils are ready for it with the stop being credited to Dante Ponder.
Yeah, I think that should have been called a pass, even though it was underhanded. He tossed it forward.
Shovel, yeah.
It was a shovel pass.
So that'll be a loss of about 6 on the play. Not sure Chapman likes the loss of 6 as a reception or a run either way, but he'll try to redeem himself on this next play. And again, Coach, looks like they have one of their, is that one of the linemen lined up?
Yeah, they have a
here?
lineman lined up. He's covered.
High will keep it on the fake, and there's a flag. This might be coming back as the tackle is made by the Sun Devils. Believe that was number 15, Desmond Green, but we'll see what the call is here. I believe we had some movement up front. Oh, they will pick up the flag. Interesting. So High gets himself a gain of about, we'll call it 9 yards. To bring up 3rd and about long 4, short 5 here. High gets the snap, quick trigger, throws it to Newell, and catches it up high. And Newell will be tackled just short of the first down. Credit the stop to the Sun Devils number 24, Dante Ponder.
Pass completion to Michael Newell.
Yeah, PA's doing something a little interesting here. They're playing with 4 interior linemen.
On the 13-yard line, it's 4th down.
There on offense, and split one out for blocking purposes on the short passes.
Don't think he got anything on that, did he? Maybe a yard.
I think he lost a half a yard.
So another 4th down here. 4th and about 4 or 5 yards here for the Cavaliers, just inside the 15 of Salem. Man in motion, High will keep it, and he's going nowhere as that Salem defense will stand him up. The Sun Devils rising to the occasion here as you see Ponder. Henderson was in the mix on that, as well as another defender.
Number 30. Number
30.
30.
So credit the stops there to, we don't have a 30 in our book.
30, let's see.
Maybe it was 50.
Penalty flag
DeJuan
against
Skinner.
Princess Anne. The penalty is declined. 1st and 10, Salem High School.
So no first down for the Cavaliers. Golden red zone opportunity coming up short for them. And now Salem's second possession begins at the 15-yard line with 6:35 to go in this opening quarter. Coach Wilson has to like to stand by his defense there to come away without giving up any points.
Yeah. Both teams are having problems with the sets, getting the 11 guys on the field.
Well, that's to be a little bit expected with the communication
That's
being
right.
the first game and a lot that's happening here. Miles will keep it here. Quarterback keeper is going to
He's
scoot
scoot away.
before Newell and I believe that was Chapman getting to him. Saquon Miles with a big run for the Sun Devils as they move closer to midfield. Give him, we'll call it a gain of about 18 yards for Saquon Miles. Longest play from scrimmage thus far for the Sun Devils.
On the 33-yard line, first down, Salem High School.
Jawan
Johnson.
Johnson. Okay.
A player that they're trying to uncover tonight, senior. Remember, they not only graduated Kalon Black, who's at James Madison, but Lex Henry, the backup tailback, who had that big play in the regional semis against Woodside. Here's Desmond Green on the jet sweep. And Desmond Green getting away from a couple of tackles before James Smith brings him down. About a gain of 8 or 9 yards for the future JMU Duke.
I think they're gonna give him 9.
Now at the 42,
Being creative on the Sun Devils here, kind of giving PA a little bit of its own medicine, if you will, with the fly, the jet sweep plays and end arounds that the Cavaliers have had some success with the last couple of seasons. 2nd and 1 here. Sometimes you see some teams take that shot down the field, play action, and with really nobody deep, only
And they're playing man coverage. You know, you look at the corners, they're looking right at the receivers. They're not looking in at the ball at all.
handoff inside. It'll be Johnson moving forward for a couple
Jawan Johnson,
to
the ball carrier.
get the first down as the Sun Devils get closer to midfield here.
First down for the Sun Devils at the 46-yard line.
Hunter Sherman among those in on the stop.
You know, playing against a team playing man coverage, an ideal play is a speed option. Just run the corner off and pitch that thing.
Well, Miles is the type of athlete that they could do that with.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly has the athleticism and the next level speed for linebackers to have trouble chasing him east-west. He'll get the shotgun snap here. Another handoff inside as Johnson will push forward with his lineman trying to aid him a little bit, and it'll be a minimal
Jawan
gain.
Johnson, the ball carrier.
Got about 3.
Close to midfield.
Smith and Truesdale among those in on the stop. Calling James Smith's name a lot here as he has been a factor here from his defensive line position. He can line up at end or tackle. Looks like he's playing more end tonight.
Yeah, he's
2nd and 7 from the 49-yard line. Miles gets it. He's going to throw it over the middle. Pass intended for Isaiah Henderson. 3 defenders in the area, including Chapman, and it's incomplete.
Pass intended for Isaiah Henderson, incomplete.
Do you like those throws over the middle, Coach, or is it safer to go towards the boundary for
well.
first pass for the night?
I like him if you have a guy who can get beat down the middle. You know, especially if they're not playing in by the back. But you got to do a little bit better fake than that.
So 3rd and 7 coming up from the 49-yard line for the Sun Devils. Saquon Miles will look to have the Sun Devils drive continue here. It's a handoff, and it's going to be a nice pickup by Jawan Johnson, brought down by
Johnson carries.
Hunter Sherman and
Going to be short by a foot.
Tyshawn Chapman. Yeah, he's going to be short.
And they moved it back to maybe about 2 feet.
Give him 6, so here we go. 4th and 1. Salem was stopped on its first 4th down of the night. Here they are from the 45-yard line on the other side of the 50. They hand it back off to Johnson. He's got daylight.
Oh, he might be gone.
Gets an outside, a little bit of a block from Jones, and two guys bring him down finally at about the 30-yard line. Jawan Johnson, the 5'9", 175-pound senior, advancing at 15 yards for the Sun Devils, on this Cavaliers defense. So far, Coach, 59 yards rushing for the Sun Devils on 10 attempts. Johnson doing much of the work there.
That was a very good cut. And I mean, he dipped inside to bring the defender in, and then he bounced back outside. A very crafty run.
They produce running backs at Salem High School. You think back to Kevin Whaley. You think to certainly Lamarco Williams a few years back, Kaylon Black most recently, and Jawan Johnson trying to have a strong finish to his senior campaign. As it'll be Miles, the quarterback, keeping it.
And he's running over people.
He is getting by defenders, and he's going to get it inside the 15, down to the 11. Saquon Miles with a 19-yard pickup as the Sun Devils are on the move. Offensive line doing yeoman's work up front for the Sun Devils here tonight. And then you've got also the tight end, Isaiah Henderson, number 1. Keep an eye on him. He's doing some blocking on the edge and the perimeter as well.
Yeah, I think they're using Henderson and Zamarian there in tandem.
That's a tough tandem right there. That's a D1 tandem right there for you.
Yeah.
Inside, it'll be a run-off tackle for the Sun Devils.
Carried by Johnson.
Johnson gets a couple inside the 10 to about the 9. Smith among those in on the stop, as well as Truesdale.
Should be second and 8.
You start to wonder a little bit about the bodies for PA on defense getting a little bit winded here on this long drive.
This drive particularly.
Begin at 6:35. We're now ticking under 90 seconds to go in this opening period. And this will be the 10th play coming up of the drive. It started back at their own 15-yard line. Here's Miles running to his left. Following a block, he'll get about 1, maybe 2 yards here before he is brought down. Miguel Rijo among those in on the stop.
Yeah, PA switched the defense that time.
I think it's going to be third and maybe 4 or 5 yards here.
6.
They run to the near side again here. It's going to be Green to the outside. He is tripped up.
4th and 2.
I believe that was Andrew DJ James, the junior, in on the stop of Green.
4th down for the Sun Devils.
And yeah, Coach, he's going to be a couple yards short here. Maybe got
about
3 yards.
About 3 yards.
Yeah, he got about 3 at the most. Maybe along 2, so it's going to be 4th and about 3 here from the 4 for the Sun Devils. That'll end the first quarter. We've got ourselves some excitement here to begin the second period as it's a scoreless battle between the Cavaliers of Princess Anne High and the Salem Sun Devils. Right now, no score, but Salem is knocking on the door here as we get ready for the second quarter. Running game producing 84 yards, no completions for Salem, but 3 of 3 for Princess Anne, Coach. 21 yards passing for Ryan High. They had that golden opportunity in the opening period, but momentum has certainly shifted towards the Sun Devils.
Right, and you don't know how much this drive is taken out of PA. I know they have 3 or 4 kids in the front going both ways, and Salem has been able to push them back there. And this is a crucial situation here. This 4th and 2. Salem hasn't thrown the ball well, and I'm betting they won't throw it here either.
No, you don't want to have the Russell Wilson experience from the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. However, Jawan Johnson has done a pretty good job in his debut as a starting tailback, 7 carries for 36 yards. Like you mentioned, good cut, good vision, I think, thus far. Big shoes to fill with Kaylon Black and Lex Henry, but I think he's done it admirably so far.
Yes, he has. He's done a terrific job.
So 4th and 3 coming up for the Sun Devils inside the Princess Anne 10-yard line.
This would be an ideal time for opportunity to draw them offside. See if you can pick up a yard that way.
Well, do you go to a hard count here?
Yep.
You didn't hesitate on that at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
You didn't hesitate on that at
You're
all.
going to hard count or no play. You know, you tell the guys, okay, we're not calling the play here. So that way they don't move. Just give them the snap. Call timeout if you have to. Take the opportunity to try to draw them offside.
So here we go. 4th and 3.
There it is.
We'll get a whistle, and look at you.
Over here on the right side, sit on the left side of PA's
You've
defense.
done this before, I think.
A few times.
A few times.
Yeah.
Coach Moore calls it. Now all the PA fans are screaming at you. Why did you say since the Salem fans? Yeah, Coach Moore, we always loved you. You rock, my man. So they're going to get it. Now, is that enough for a first down, though? Because it was 4th and 3, so it's 4th and 1 at the 2, so they didn't get a fresh set, a first set.
And that was all they wanted to do, get a little closer and make it reasonable to run
And
it.
I'm surprised they're going shotgun here instead of quarterback sneak with Miles. He'll keep it, though, and run up the middle. He'll score regardless
touchdown.
if it's shotgun or double tight,
Touchdown,
and
yep.
it'll be a touchdown for Saquon Miles from 2 yards out. The first touchdown of this 2020-2021 football campaign, as that will cap the drive for Salem. Coach, what a job that drive was. 12 plays. It went 85 yards. And it took literally 6 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock.
That's a drive. That's a heck of a drive.
Here's the extra point coming for the Sun Devils. Evan Novotny's extra point is no good. I shouldn't have butchered his name. We might have made that, so I'll take the blame on that one. So 6-0 our score in favor of Salem on top of Princess Anne as they cap that 12-play, 85-yard drive. That was some old school football, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yep. That did two things. They kept Salem's defense off the field, and they didn't have to try to defend Ryan High. And gave Salem an opportunity to try to figure out that formation that PA's using.
So after the missed extra point, we will have Princess Anne receive the ensuing kickoff here. A couple of updates to pass along here across the Beach District for those interested. It's end of 1 scoreless between Lansdowne and Tallwood right now. We can tell you that it took 18 seconds in over in Norfolk for Maury to get a 6-0 lead on Booker T. Washington. As we've got now the kickoff coming for the Sun Devils of Salem High School. And that'll be caught at the 27-yard line by Michael Newell versus Field. And he'll be brought down at about the 27-yard line.
Cavaliers.
A couple of Sun Devils in on that stop.
First and 10 PA at the 25.
So 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for Princess Anne after the loss of about a couple there, Coach, on the kickoff return for PA, as it'll be back to the action here with Ryan High, although looks like we might have some razzle-dazzle coming out here. Some motion again for the Cavaliers. High will keep it up the middle. He goes. Gains a few. And about the 29-yard line.
Ryan High was a quarterback keeper.
He's a decent runner, good size. But I think Salem will take that all day with him running in there like that, so they don't have to figure out where the ball is.
Well, it's less of a worry with him running as opposed to Chapman or Brown, is it not?
That's
Second
right.
and 6 to 29.
And he is a big-sized kid, as you mentioned. 58% completions a year ago. 6'3", 220 pounds. And now he's going to run to the left into the Salem sideline, and he's going nowhere. As you see, 3 black shirts there.
There you go.
Including Henderson, as well as number 50. That's DeJuan Skinner. I think we might have miscredited him for tackle earlier, but we're not going to this time. That
Right.
6'3", 190-pound sophomore defensive lineman, as he fills out,
Also
he
on
could
the
be a
play.
load for years to come.
Good frame.
3rd and 7.
Well, they've had for years, as you well know, some players on that defense that have certainly fit the bill of those, we call them tweeners, can play outside backer or DN. They can move around versatile pieces. And Salem's got still some of those guys with Zamarion Harrell and Isaiah Henderson leading the way. 3rd and 7 now for the Cavaliers as High will roll to his right, try to make something happen. He throws it. It's complete and caught by Chapman, who is thrown down quickly. That could be a horse collar, right?
Yeah, that should have been 2
Penalty
penalties.
flag
Should have been
down.
2 penalties on that number.
Face mask as well, yeah.
Yeah, number 58, who is a lineman, was downfield, right there where the guy caught the ball. They got him split out wide, but he shouldn't have gone across the line of scrimmage because he's not eligible to receive.
So Chapman's going to get 6 on the catch, but then tack on the penalty. High, by the way, is 4 of 4 for 27 yards by my count unofficially here. And I'll emphasize unofficially.
15-yard
here.
penalty on the Sun
Good
Devils.
stats at home, everybody. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty. The first, Coach Wilson does not like that, losing their discipline there for a brief moment because they had no penalties in the first period.
Yeah.
So now we're at midfield here with PA and Salem. Sun Devils up 6-0 here as we tick under 10 minutes to go in this first half. High will get it. Thinks to go right, but he'll go up the middle. And High makes a couple of players miss before he gets inside the 40 of Salem, and Skinner tracks him down.
It's a good run there by High.
First down for the Cavaliers.
Gain of about 12 down to the 38 of Salem. Ryan High is having a pretty strong drive here right now. 29 yards rushing on the day to go with his 27 yards through the air. And that interior of the Princess Anne offensive line coach has started to settle down a little bit.
Yes, it is.
Four receivers to the right. High gets it. He's thought about pitching it to Chapman, but he's gonna be brought down for a loss of about 1 there. You had a couple of Salem defenders there on the stop. Carter Gatlin, one of them.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. It was a good thing that he didn't try to pitch that, though. It's probably going to end up on the ground.
Carter Gatlin has impressed me a good deal in this first half as he's showing a good nose for the football here. 2nd and 12 from the 40 for PA as the Jets fly over us from Oceana, not too far down the road here. High with that load option. Oh, that was an errant pitch and almost recovered, but it rolls out of bounds. They're lucky that one did not end up in the hands of a Salem defender. Looks like that was Carter Gatlin that came close to picking it up.
Pitch back
Yes.
to Chapman. Ball's out of bounds.
There's 10 on that. Bringing up 3rd and 22 from the 50, and I believe Coach Yeager has called a timeout. What adjustments here? Do you go away from the option now for a little bit?
I think they need to. They're going to have to keep the ball in the quarterback's hand and see what they can do in terms of throwing short.
Ball at midfield.
They're actually playing with four linemen blocking. Okay, and I think that if Salem were to put rush 5 guys, that would create a problem for them right there. The interesting thing about it is that PA is flanking out number 58, who's actually a lineman, but he's lining up in the backfield, so they only have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage, which is a penalty.
Interesting. They're not calling that here so far.
They're not. They're supposed to have. They have 5 guys actually lined up in the backfield. Now, when 58 lines upon the line of scrimmage, that gives them the 7 guys that they need on the line of scrimmage. But he occasionally lines up in the backfield.
See, I thought that was an odd formation. So a little bit surprised that the Salem coaches haven't worked that out to try to get the flag, right?
Right.
Well, and you would think with their athletes, specifically Chapman as well as Brown, they might take their chances in some one-on-one matchups, bring an extra guy in for I don't know about max protect, but bring an extra guy in on the line of scrimmage if they are to blitz, and you can get some pretty favorable matchups one-on-one in space. And High has been accurate. It's not like he's been spraying the ball everywhere. He's been pretty pinpoint for the most part in this first half, throwing it. Well, and a big key here on 3rd and 22 is you don't want to go backwards to the point where now you're punting from your own 40 and it's 4th and 32, and now you let them tilt field position, because even if they can't pick up this first down, you want to make Salem have to start its next drive inside its own 25. You can now. They're going to have trips to the right. One receiver to the near side here as High will get the shotgun snap. Scans, looks to his right, but he'll keep it himself. Stiff arm, and Ryan High gets a nice gain along the sideline before he is shoved out by Salem's DeMarco Hill.
Be about 4th and 6.
And this is where you can go for it now if you're Coach Shaker,
yes.
is it not?
Yeah, we got it into a workable situation.
So, yeah, 4th and 7 to be exact, Coach. You're right on the money here with it. Ryan High averaging 4 yards a carry, 32 yards on 8 attempts. And it's a good situation here. He has been a confident runner in this first half as we tick under 8.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Actually, the clock will stop at 8:30. Steady rain still falling here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. We thank you for tuning in with us here alongside the Coach Darnell Moore. I am Matt Hatfield for all you viewing on Facebook Live tonight. Ryan High gets the snap. Throws it to Tyshawn Chapman. It's going to be intercepted. Is it picked off?
Yes.
It is caught by the Salem Sun Devils. Is that Malachi Jones? I believe it is. Number 4 with the INT for Salem. He showed really sure hands, Coach, during the Game Academy 7-on-7 league here at the Sportsplex, and comes up with a big takeaway there.
The ball stayed in the air too long. And Jones, Malachi made a great break on that ball.
First down at the 27.
So the game's first takeaway, remember the one stop earlier with Salem was a turnover on downs. It wasn't a pure recovery. So now Salem will have it. 8:20 to go from their own 26-yard line. And right away, the running back is brought down. Was that the Terminator? I think that was Mr. Smith delivering the pain to Mr. Johnson on that run. Boy, he knifed through there.
That was a good rush, yeah.
2nd and 13.
Loss of 3.
He almost got the handoff on that.
I tell you what, Coach, I covered a game last year, a couple of his games. I think it was at Kellum, where he had about 12 tackles, 3 or 4 for loss. He is a disruptive force there on the defensive line. When you line him up at tackle or end, and tonight he's playing more on the end, giving the left tackle and even the tight ends that are trying to block him all kinds of trouble.
Swing pass.
Rolling to the right, it'll be Miles. Completes it. Nice throw to Malachi Jones on 2nd and 13 from the 23.
Pass completion to Malachi Jones.
We'll pick up about 8 on that one. Malachi running a good route as well on that throw.
There's a little confidence builder there for Saquon.
3rd and 7 for the Sun Devils.
And look at a timeout by Coach Wilson and the Sun Devils here with 7:24 to go in the second quarter. Very pivotal 3rd and 7 coming up for Salem.
Sun Devils call timeout.
Yeah, this is pivotal. You know, you'd love to get the first down, but you don't want to turn it over here.
I misspoke. I think that was a loss of 5 miles had on that first play of this series when Smith came through there unscathed to bring him down. Couple more scores to bring you here across the area right now. York leading Grafton 21-0 at the end of one quarter of play. Booker T. Washington with an 8-6 lead on top of Maury as Rodney Hammond, a Pittsburgh commit, with a touchdown as well as a 2-point conversion as the reigning state champion Commodores are trailing here in the early going. No other results yet in the Beach District, but we'll get them to you as soon as we see them come across online tonight. And this final Friday of February. And you know it's chilly when Coach Moore has to zip up the jacket, ladies and gents, and now button it up here. Don't worry, I was doing some field hockey earlier, and the same thing for me. I got to the second game, and I said, I got to bundle up here. It is cold out here. So all of you folks, we know our heart goes out to you that can't be here tonight due to all the orders, but trust me, the one positive that you have is you're not getting wet and you're not facing the cold here on this very chilly Friday night in Virginia Beach. We thank you for tuning in. Here's Saquon Miles getting the snap. Going to run up the middle, and he's going to be close to the marker. I think he's going to be about a yard and a half short, Coach.
Yep.
Saquon Miles with the quarterback keeper.
A couple of Cavaliers in on that stop, including Michael Moole, as well as number 52, Hunter Sherman, one of their top tacklers from a season ago.
4th and a long yard for the Sun Devils.
I believe Sean's going to go for this.
I think so too. They had lined up before on 4th and about a yard or two, and it looks like he's going to do the same thing with it at the 35-yard line. Saquon Miles, he lost his footing, and let's see what the spot is, because he had a great reach, but it looks like the official's going to mark him short. Yeah, he did lose his shoe, you're right. Came out of his shoe there, and that's going to be a big stop. Big stand for the Princess Anne defense.
Ball goes over on downs to the Cavaliers. 1st and 10, Princess Anne.
He would have had that easily.
Sun Devil 35.
That is the danger of going for it inside your own 40, as now Princess Anne will get an opportunity to cut into this lead and perhaps even tie the game or take the lead here with 6:35 to go. Princess Anne has moved the ball reasonably well at times. The problem, Coach, has been finishing. And now they have golden field position again at the Salem 35. Can the Sun Devils defense rise to the occasion once more before the break? Two receivers to the right for high. He will hand it off. And that looks to be the Tyshawn Chapman. I believe it is. Tyshawn Chapman stopped by a couple of Sun Devils. Great tackles to DeLon Skinner as well as Dante Brinkley. Skinner on at least 4 tackles so far.
2nd and 3.
Chapman picking up 7 to 8 yards on that play.
Yeah, that was a cute little play. The quarterback signaled which way he wanted to run once they got to the line of scrimmage and read the play. Put his hands behind his back and signaled him. That's cute.
Chapman has 4 touches from scrimmage tonight, only his 2nd carry of the ball game. As now he'll get the snap, or actually it'll be Ryan High, getting the snap, and he'll scoot out of bounds to the left side and move the chains there as Desmond Green and a couple of Sun Devils are able to string him out.
1st down.
You know, when the defense ends use the technique, what you call a wrong arm technique, which they try to get the head in the hole, that makes it easier for the back to bounce that ball outside with nobody there.
First and 10 now at the 21-yard line of Salem as we are under 6 minutes to go in this first half. Three receivers to the right for High. He'll hand it off to Chapman. Up the middle, spin move, shake and bake, and he gets to the 15 before he's brought down.
Chapman carrying again to the 15-yard line.
Tackle made by Dante Ponder for Salem. And this is very basic. It might seem vanilla, but Coach, if it's working for you, you don't have to change it, right?
That's right. Whatever works. Keep the chain moving.
And hope those guys up front hold their blocks. Looks like Valentine is now the center. I think he was playing right guard earlier, was he not? I think they've made a little bit of an adjustment up front. I think he's now snapping it as High will fake the forward flip, if you will, the shovel, and he'll move it forward inside the 10-yard line. A little nifty heads-up play by him, and I think it caught a couple of Salem defenders lurking.
Carries.
Cut him off guard there.
1st and goal for the Cavaliers.
Showing some good instincts tonight as they have it at about the 8-yard line now. 45 yards rushing on 10 attempts for Ryan High. Outside of that one interception, Coach, he's played a really solid ball game in his first start down here in the Tidewater area.
Yes, nice and steady.
And a very vocal Princess Anne coaching staff on their sideline here as it'll be a handoff to Chapman. He spins away from a defender. Chapman's going to try to pull it back inside. He's going to be brought down at about the 7-yard line. Only a gain of maybe 1 before Desmond Green finds him.
Chapman carrying.
That's a good stop by Salem there. I thought that Chapman had a hold up the middle because they had 2 line tackles in there, the big gap in the inside.
Now 2nd and goal at about call it the 7-yard line. Maybe the 6. It is a little tricky sometimes.
Yes, it's the
with
7, yeah. Feel
yard
hockey.
markers. Did that ever throw you off as a coach?
It
here?
did.
It did, okay.
It did, I tell
Even though
you.
as me doing the stats, it throws me off quite a bit. Doesn't matter if you're doing it from the field or the box, it can be tricky. And there's the Salem defense, 3
Rose.
guys right there. Ferocious stop as you see 55 as well as 8 in on number 1 Chapman. Let's give those names a shout out. Omarion Mason with the tackle, as well as, guess who? Isaiah Henderson. Well, he's really bulked up, Coach. and he looks-
Dante Pounder was in there on that too.
Yep. Tell you what, Henderson's looking good out there. He
Yeah.
looks ready for the next level. I'll tell you what, just his
Third and goal
size
for
and
the
stature. And kudos to him for not opting out. Some of these kids will say no need to, and he's wanting to play with his teammates and pursue a state title that they were just a few wins shy of a year ago. 1 win shy of a regional title when they fell to Morey. Now it's 3rd down and goal from the 10 for Princess Anne. And is this going to be the final timeout of the half for PA? I believe it is. That's their last timeout, is it not?
Timeout.
That should be there.
That's it. Salem has 2 remaining timeouts, so with 2:53 to go, 3rd goal at the 10 coming up, and a very important 3rd and goal at the 10 for the Cavaliers of Princess Anne High.
So what do you think they're going to do here, Matt? I think they're going to throw it.
I think they're going to roll high out, either to the right or the
There
left.
you go. I think they would
Bootleg?
let's sprint them out to the right.
Okay.
Sprint them out. If they use the formation that they did, they may even motion a man across and sprint to that. You have to take advantage. Get him in the field and give him a chance to throw it or run it.
You're telling me I'm not that far off from being a play caller one day.
You call it.
7 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Ocean Lakes leads Kellum 18-7. We can tell you Morey has reclaimed the lead on Booker T. Washington 13-8 with 3:49 to go in the 1st quarter. We'll pass along more scores as we get them here for you tonight on Facebook Live. And right now it's Princess Anne trying to tie it up with Salem, who leads at 6-0. Just under 3 minutes to go in the first half.
There's the man Mimosi going across.
That's Chapman. High's going to stand in the pocket. No rollout. He throws it for Chapman, and
Yeah.
Chapman is gobbled up by, guess who? Carter Gatlin with the tackle.
Good play, good play.
It's about a yard completion for
Pass is complete. Gain of a yard.
High.
4th and goal.
He's got more rushing yards, Coach, with 45 than he does passing. And now, do you try to kick this here, or are you going for this from the
It's
9-yard line?
9.5.
So it'd be like a 26-yard, 27-yard field goal?
Yep. Yep.
But it's from, looks like the right hash, so it's not a straight-on kick if you were to
They're
kick it. They're going for
They're
it.
going for it.
Well, right before the half, I would think about, me personally, getting some points here. You could say ordinarily pin them deep, but
They
you're
can
going to
get
get
it.
a
They can
half.
get a delay.
You're
Be
gonna get
surprised if they
delayed
don't
and
get a
kick this.
delay game penalty.
Might have to kick it at that point.
No, yep.
So here we go, 4th and goal from the 9, High with 2 receivers to his right, 1 man in the backfield, and he's got to his left, Kelvin Fonville. Now here's High rolling left. He's throwing for Fonville, and it's short, incomplete as the coverage is sticky right
Nice
there.
pass, incomplete.
Denying
in
Fonville and
end
all the
zone.
targets.
Ball
and the
going
Salem
over on
defense will
downs to the
stop
Sun
him.
Devils. 1st and 10.
That was good defense by Salem there.
You would have liked to have seen him try to throw it up high for Fonville, use that 6'1",
Pass was
6'2"
Yeah.
range.
AJ Fondo.
But he was rolling right, rolling left, excuse me,
First
and
down, son.
guys are chasing you. It's easier for me to sit up here and say than him to do on the field. So that's not meant as a criticism, perhaps. We want to tell you that tonight's broadcast here on Facebook Live is brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals.
I think what Salem wants to do here is just try to run this clock out here.
So 1:45 to go in the second quarter. Salem will take over at their own 9-yard line. This could be a run, and get out of here. And PA cannot stop the clock.
Yes, there you go.
Hand off to Johnson. He's met quickly by a couple of Cavaliers.
Hold on to the ball.
And you see hats on the ball. Hunter Sherman, one of those guys, stopping Johnson. I'll give the PA defense and program credit here. They're showing a lot more
Half of a yard to the 10-yard line.
determination and toughness here against the run than maybe in some past years. You know, in playing some of them years ago, they would have some struggles.
Against
Without the numbers.
Right.
Chasing some of the great backs that have come out of the beach. You think of the Kevin Simmonses and the Kevin Whaleys, and you had one in Taquan Smoke Mizell, but they're holding up well against this running game, not letting them get that breakaway run, even though Johnson has gotten a couple of tough runs tonight, being held to just under 4 yards a carry at 34 rushing yards on 9 attempts. Miles gets the 2nd and 9 snap now, and he'll hand it back off to Johnson. He goes to the left, and right away, boom, another tackle by Hunter Sherman. 6'3", 240-pound linebacker playing up in the box.
Yeah, he was all over that. He's a tough guy to block.
Unofficially his 5th total tackle tonight. He's got 3 solos and a couple of assists. So another yard, a hard-earned yard for Johnson.
Johnson carrying again for another yard. It's 3rd and 8.
This should be the final play of the half, and I would expect nothing other than a run. The worst thing you can do is put it in the air, hurt up 6-0. They take it back the other way, and you just worked that hard for that halftime lead.
Put it in the air on the ground is the worst thing you can do here.
Miles gets it on the snap.
Go down.
Middle, and he's going to get a couple yards at the most, but ball security of the utmost importance. And that'll end the first half here.
And that's the half.
The Cavaliers of Princess Anne trail the Sun Devils of Salem by a count of 6-0 here. On our broadcast here from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex with the coach Darnell Moore, I am Matt Hatfield. We'll tally up some halftime numbers and come back in a little bit here.
As the Uncarrier, we use our brand, our people, and our network as catalysts for good. That's why we're launching the HBCU Scholars Program for students making an impact on their school and communities. We're providing programming and insights to help Black-owned small businesses get ahead, investing in Black communities, and supporting recruitment and training of diverse candidates for telecom careers. Leading by example, we know we are better together than apart.
New DQ rotisserie-style chicken bites. I never thought unbreaded chicken this good was possible. I love you just the way you are. Finally, chicken that is tender, juicy, and flavorful all by itself. Thank you, DQ, for giving me just what I needed. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine.
Ding, 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 winner.
You know what we could all do with?
Ding, 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 winner.
More winning Wednesdays. More first dates with zombie kills. More t-shirts that say winner on the front and winner on the back. You know what we could all do with?
Ding, 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 winner.
Ding, 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 my friend. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay, so maybe we're new to home improvement, but we're determined. We got an insider tip on the ultimate flooring destination. Whoa, Floor and Decor is amazing. Look at us. We're shopping alongside real-life designers and contractors. I love this tile. And this one. And these prices? Look at this. Durable and water-resistant. We should do the kitchen next. Oh yeah, we found where the pros go. Now we're unstoppable.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Welcome back to our Facebook Live broadcast tonight of the Virginia Beach football opener. Beach District action between the Salem Sun Devils and the Princess Anne Cavaliers. Our score, Salem leading Princess Anne 6-0 at intermission. Our broadcast brought to you tonight by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. Revitalize your property today. Check them out on the web. With the coach Darnell Moore, I am Matt Hatfield, and coach, we'll give you some first half numbers, and we'll pass along some scores we have around the area in the Beach District tonight here as we get them. But Salem right now with 8 yards passing, 1 of 2 through the air. Princess Anne with 28 yards passing on 5 of 7 for Ryan High. Both quarterbacks effective as runners tonight. Ryan High with 45 yards rushing on 10 attempts, while Saquon Miles has 41 yards rushing on 10 carries, the lone touchdown in this game. Jawan Johnson with 35 yards rushing for Salem on 10 carries as well. As a team, Salem has run the football 22 times for a total of 88 yards. Meanwhile, Princess Anne has carried the football 15 times for a total of 58 yards. Your leading receivers, you have Michael Newell with 2 catches for 27 yards for PA. Tyshawn Chapman with 3 receptions for 7 yards, while Malachi Jones has the lone reception for Salem for 8 yards. And a number of guys with a boatload of tackles. This one, Dante Ponder, by my count, with at least 5 tackles, 2 for loss for Salem. Also, you're looking at Zamarion Harrell with 3 stops. Isaiah Henderson with 4 tackles, 2 for loss. For Princess Anne, we mentioned James Smith with 4 stops, 1 for loss. A few of those assists, by the way, and Hunter Sherman with 5 total tackles in the ballgame. Pretty evenly matched so far, but from my vantage point, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the difference has been the red zone timely stops of the Salem defense.
You're right. And time of possession. And that long drive that Salem had there when they scored kept their defense off the field. And I think that's made a difference in terms of, wearing PA down a little bit.
Big adjustments needed to be made so far for either team here. Salem's in the lead, but then that lead's very tenuous. Meanwhile, Princess Anne, they're moving the ball. It's just about finding that finishing play, that finisher on the drive, whether it's Chapman, Brown, High. What are you talking about if you're in the locker room? Start with PA first, and we'll get to Salem.
Well, what I would be talking about was what are we going to do when we get down in the red zone? I think that part of the problem with PA and maybe with Salem is not having enough time to practice, the situational thing. Saying, hey, look, these are the plays that we're going to run down here in this area. So they're searching for things. But I think PA's going to have to throw the ball. They're moving it, running, and they're getting 3 guys covered by 2, but they're not throwing the ball out there. I think you're going to have to at least make Salem play some pass defense. If not, you're not going to run the ball down their throat. You'll move it, but they're going to tighten up on you. So they're going to figure out what they can do to throw the ball against Salem. And I just don't believe Salem is going to throw the ball. If they do, it'll be a swing pass, something quick, maybe a screen pass, and they're just not going to take that chance on throwing the ball away. I worked a little over a year ago. I spent some time working with Saquon, and at times he can throw a pretty good ball, but I don't think they're comfortable with that right now.
Yeah, you are known as the area's quarterback whisperer, as I call it. Back in your days, you did coach the former NFL QB in Florida State. Seminole, E.J. Manuel. You had Aaron Sparrow back in the day at Woodrow Wilson High, and certainly played a hand in a lot of other quarterbacks' developments across the area, whether they played at Bayside, Wilson, Lansdowne, this school, Salem, PA, you name them. You've certainly been that guy. Now, on the Salem side of the ledger here, if you're Coach Wilson and as defensive coordinator Jeff McGowan, are you making more tweaks on that side of the ball, or is it more on the offensive side of things because you say 6 points may not be enough to win this ballgame?
You definitely say 6 points won't be enough. Only if you shut them out, it's enough. but the thing you have to be thinking about is they're going to make some adjustments. Okay, and what adjustments are we going to have to make in order to stop them? They're going to do something a little different. I think that Salem's going to have to take away the inside running of the quarterback, and I don't think he has the speed to just outrun them, to the flank. But if they can take away the inside running of the quarterback and make him have to try to run wide, then that's a different situation.
I'll let the audience, if you have a chance and we happen to get one, make sure you keep it clean. If you got a question for Coach Moore during this broadcast tonight, comment to us below the video. We'll try to squeeze it into the coach here as we've gotten well over 320 comments on our Facebook Live tonight. We thank everybody out there for watching this, all the parents, the fans out there. They can't come, Coach. This has been a COVID age. It's been a very frustrating time, discouraging time for so many young people out there, athletes and their parents, not getting a chance to see them, and pretty much been no crowds anywhere. And if there has been, even we just had state basketball championships finish up last week, and a couple of Virginia Beach teams were in action there. Princess Anne girls winning it, Green Run boys losing a heartbreaker, but it's just been a very minimal, strange, unusual year. I'm sure nothing you've ever seen in your coaching career or post-coaching career.
It's just a strange time, period. And I'm thankful that these guys got an opportunity to play. I'm thankful also that I didn't have to deal with this as a coach, because it was be really tough with everything. But with the kids getting an opportunity to at least play 5 ball games, I think that bodes well for them. It keeps them going, and it gives them something to look forward to for the next season.
I see one of your former Marlins watching tonight on the Facebook Live. We'll shout him out. Deshaun Dovey says hello to Coach Moore.
Hey, Deshaun.
Let's give you some scores around the area right now on the Hampton Roads High School football, and we'll get back to the second half for you right now with 8 minutes and change to go in the second quarter. Maury leads Booker T. Washington by a count of 19-8. They were down in that game for a call 8-6. Right now in the Bay Rivers, it's York all over Grafton, 35-0. What a job Doug Pereira does with those Falcons year in and year out. Some more scores for you. At last check, the Norview Pilots were trailing the Churchland Truckers in the second quarter, and right now that remains the score. Churchland 6, Norview nothing. We'll pass along more scores to get them tonight here across the area in high school football. Ocean Lakes was leading Kellum 18-7. Private school action at halftime. It was Norfolk Academy up 21-0 on Catholic. In that one, all kinds of scores coming in on this Friday night, a rare one. We've never seen one again like this in February. It might be the one and only. I'm sure some hope it is, some don't. February Friday night football lights here.
There you go.
Some interesting things
Friday night lights
across the Hampton area. It is strange in so many ways here. We'll give you some more scores as we get them here around the area in high school football tonight. A lot of games going on across the state outside of Hampton Roads. Hopewell, the reigning Class 3 state champs in action. Their standout Trevion Henderson's not playing. He's at Ohio State. But they're still cruising comfortably 26-0 in the second quarter, last check against Colonial Heights. So a lot of high school football action, and we'll give you more as we get them here across the Beach District and beyond here on this Friday night on our Facebook Live broadcast for you. So we will see what happens here in the second half with Salem and Princess Anne. A little bit of an extended halftime, and understandably so, to get the kids a chance to catch their breath and rehydrate. And you know this better than anybody, Coach. First game in more than 400 days, so this is almost like getting back on the bike, learning to ride it again.
Yes. And I guess it's good that it's not a hot night, and kids are able to breathe a little easier, don't sweat quite as much.
I know some look at it from the recruiting standpoint for the next level as it's not as meaningful because the class of 2021, the Division I schools, the FBS, the FCS program, even some Division IIs are set with their boards. But there's still a good chance to get seen by Division II and Division III schools for some of these athletes that are getting it done in the classroom and on the field if they're a senior. However, more than anything, for these juniors, sophomores, freshmen, this is that tape that a lot of those schools will be looking at here when they start to evaluate late spring, summertime, whether you fit their level, particularly those Power 5 schools.
Right, that much is very true. I think that for some of the kids who are coming out, it's a tough situation for them because with the way the college football is now, everybody getting an extra year eligibility. A lot of coaches are waiting to see who enters the transfer portal and things like that so they can pick up kids. So that some of them will hold off on scholarships and things, waiting to see what they can get.
Yeah, it's a strange time for us all here as we watch high school football. I know one of our good pals, one of our favorites in the business, Coach Larry Ravama from the Pilot, is checking out the game tonight virtually. He did a nice picture in the Pilot. Check it out. He does outstanding work. I'm sure he'll have some write-ups from this game and other stories when it comes to high school football. We got the chance to see Brian Parsons virtually, I should say socially distanced, not virtually. He was up here from Wavy TV 10, so check out some of the highlights. Some of your local TV stations will have some footage tonight. If you're watching this Facebook Live broadcast, we appreciate their coverage on the television, the print side, and what they do for high school athletics and our youth. And you never really yelled too much at those guys. You were always friendly with them, right?
I never yelled. Well, occasionally I yell, you know, and
after a loss, not a win.
Well, no, definitely not after a win. My thing was that if you yell all the time, they tune you out. So you just have to be strategic, you know, when you yell. And when I did yell, everybody's ears perked up. You know.
Well, Salem up 6-0 on Princess Anne. A couple of things to pass along in terms of the history of this series. Salem came into tonight, Coach, 16 consecutive wins over Princess Anne, 8 of which were shutouts. When they met 2 years ago, Salem won 46-12, and impressively for PA's sake, they responded from that shellacking, if you will, to beat Ocean Lakes in a double overtime authority the next week or a couple weeks later. The last win for Princess Anne in the series was 2004. I don't know that either team feels highly encouraged or highly discouraged at this point because it's 6-0, and you might be saying if you're Salem, we could be up more. If you're PA, you're saying we should be up. I think it's kind of a mixed feeling right now for both locker rooms.
And I think PA is probably saying, you know, we're just a play away. You know, we're going to break through. And Salem is saying that we got to hold them. You know, we got to hold them. You know, they're not getting a whole lot of verbal offense, but, you know, they're able to move the ball. But I think that if they can't throw it at some point in time, that's going to shut down.
It's scoreless at halftime with Lancetown and Tallwood. We mentioned Ocean Lakes was winning. We don't have a score yet. If you drop some scores to us, we'll pass them along. With the other couple of games on the beach, I know Cox is playing Kempsville, and I know you also have, Bayside First Colonial?
Yeah.
And I'm missing one more. I'm sure I'll think of it at some point. But anyhow, we'll take maybe one more time out here and come back with second half action right here on Facebook Live.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
New DQ rotisserie-style chicken bites. I never thought unbreaded chicken this good was possible. I love you just the way you are. Finally, chicken that is tender, juicy, and flavorful all by itself. Thank you, DQ, for giving me just what I needed. DQ. Happy tastes good.
For more than 23 years, we've made it our mission to lend peace of mind.
Even when times aren't very peaceful.
We know that every borrower is unique.
That's why we put you first in every step of the loan process.
At Atlantic Bay, we are dedicated, now more than ever,
to providing digital tools, resources, and a lending hand.
To help you reach your home dreams.
Because we're here for you.
Whenever,
wherever,
however.
And we're back here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Our broadcast on Facebook Live brought to you tonight by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. Revitalize your property today. With the coach Darnell Moore, I am Matt Hatfield. Our score in this Beach District opener for 2020-2021. The Salem Sun Devils leading the Princess Anne Cavaliers 6-0 as we are less than 30 seconds away from third quarter action here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. This game initially was supposed to be at Salem High School but moved to the Sportsplex. And Coach, we've got ourselves a really competitive defensive battle. I know I say this kindly, of course, known as the offensive mastermind. But defensively, when you're in a game like this as a coach, are you worried because you are one play away, you can play such a strong game and it can be almost thrown away if a team breaks an 80-yard touchdown? Or do you prefer the shootouts and, all right, I like this as a coach, I can get these done? You got a preference on either type of game?
Well, I'd rather be ahead by 30.
Honestly.
But in a situation like this, a break and you lose the ball game 7-6. You just got to play better. It's a situation where I look here that the team that can throw the ball this half can win the ball game. It's been a steady rain for the entire game, and I just don't know how well either one of them can throw the ball in the rain. I don't. High throws a decent ball, but it's not a whole lot of steam on it. Sure. And that's to be expected sometimes when you're throwing the ball in the rain. But they need to find something.
Well, the good thing is we haven't seen the passing games as affected as much as it could be on some other high school fields tonight, not playing on the turf surface, and that kickoff return is going to be a minimal gain by Michael Newell. One guy we have not seen, at least I haven't seen, is Zakir Brown. I think they call him, I don't know if it's Fat Man, Fat Head, I'm going to butcher the nickname, but nonetheless, he's been a real weapon for him. I haven't seen him in uniform tonight. I'm not sure why, but if he's unable to go, that's one less playmaker in the arsenal for PA, and more on the shoulders of High as well as Chapman. So third quarter action, it'll be Princess Anne football here first. 11:54 to go as they have it at their own 27-yard line, it looks like.
They're going back to the formation that they started the game with.
Surprise you at all, or not too much?
Not really.
They've got those three receivers to the right now. As High will get this shotgun snap. A little bit on the high side. He throws it over to Chapman. It's caught, and he's wrestled down quickly for a minimal gain, and that was Zamarion Harrell.
And that was a good play because they had the numbers. They had three guys blocking three guys, and Salem was able to get them on the ground.
Pass is complete. Second down from the 25.
It's going to be a loss of about 2. As Chapman has been contained for the most part tonight. Has not busted one. We saw him do that a year ago in a couple of games. Did it against Kellum. He did it against Lansdowne. He's so explosive. 2nd and 12 now. And now, like you mentioned earlier, first quarter, they went from the 3 receivers to the right side. Now they go to the left side here with actually 4 total. 3 all bunched together. High will get it. He'll evade a defender, and he'll move close to the 35-yard line where Green will push him out of bounds.
Yeah, that's spreading them out with the intentions of running the ball, not so much in terms of throwing it. I'm a little surprised that they're not throwing it.
Stop at the 34-yard line.
Takes it up to about the 34-yard line.
34.
3 to 4 yards for the first.
And it's going to be a long, maybe about 3rd and 3, actually. I think they bumped it up a spot.
Okay.
But with Salem's defense, 3 yards is like 4 yards. Here we go. It's going to be up the middle, and that trigger man, Ryan High, getting a full head of steam. And that'll move the chains to about the 42-yard line.
It's down on the quarterback keeper at the 42.
So Ryan High making the most of that carry. Third down conversion for PA. They've only had a few of those tonight. High will go deep down the field to the right. It'll be out of play. Michael Newell unable to track it down. And there, was that a late flag? We do get a late flag, a very late flag. Is that going to be on Salem? That was a good 6-7 seconds after the play, Coach. Very late flag. And it didn't look like it was stuck in the referee's pocket by any means. I don't know that it was pass interference. I didn't see a lot of contact. Not to mention it wasn't even from my standpoint, a catchable pass. But we'll see what the call is.
Penalty is against the Sun Devils.
It is on Salem. Defensive holding. That may not have been exactly where the pass play was, so it'll be moved up to the 48-yard line.
So now at the Sun Devil 48.
Just the second penalty of the night on Salem. 10-yard variety, so 1st and 10 at the Salem 48. Here's High on the keeper. Up the middle he goes, met by a couple of defenders, and he'll be close to the first down marker. Let's see where they spot him. I think he might have got it by the generous spot there.
Yes. Definitely got it.
They're starting to get to that second level of the Salem defense. Those linebackers are tough with Henderson and Harrell, but Ryan High showing that he is a threat not only with his arm but his legs here tonight.
Yeah, Salem is keeping two safeties too high, and I think as long as they do that, you're going to see that quarterback run it.
Ryan High getting near the 80-yard mark rushing. He's got about, I think at last check, 13 for 73 on the ground. It's going to be a quick screen out to Chapman to the right there, and he'll get out of bounds. Give him a couple on that. The good thing about those quick screens is the more you get him those touches, the more opportunities you're going for someone to miss a tackle.
Miss a tackle.
Yeah.
Actually, they gave him no gain on that one.
Minor gain on the play at second down.
Almost a loss of a yard the way it was spotted, but you're right. Nothing going here. He has been held in check to literally less than 3 yards per touch, and he's had 10 touches tonight, 5 rushing, 5 receiving. He told Coach McGowan, the D coordinator, and head coach Sean Wilson that they would have loved that. And that one will hit the ground. It'll be incomplete as they try to get it to Michael Newell on a quick toss.
Incomplete pass. Third down.
Third down upcoming here for PA. Would love to see, I don't have it in front of me, the third down conversion chart for Princess Anne, because it feels like they get 1 or 2 and then they get to another third down and they get bogged down. They got to go for a fourth down or it's decision time, if you will. And that's where it's tough to sustain drives against the Salem defense that we outlined earlier. Gave up just 22 points in their first 11 games in 2019, all of which were against Beach District foes. The only one of those foes they played twice in that stretch was Cox, who they beat in the first round before defeating Woodside and come from behind fashion in the regional semis and then falling to Maury in the regional championship. Here's Ryan High, and he'll go up the middle.
Yeah, I figured they were going to run that one, try to get maybe 5 yards, then it'd be like 3rd and 5. Now it's going to be like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. He'd still be in that same situation. If we can get 4 yards, if we can make it 4th and 4, 4th and 3, we go for it on 4th down.
I'm a little confused, Coach, because I guess they repeated it down. It should be 4th down, but the scoreboard here and the sideline box is saying 3rd. Although there you go, they're moving it to 4th down.
Okay, all right.
I think the sideline marker was down behind, and now Princess Anne's players are looking at it going, "Are you kidding me? We thought it was 3rd down." And now they're going to call a timeout. See, just one little thing like that can force the team off its timing and rhythm, and now you're burning a timeout.
Yep.
I'm sure they're saying some choice words for the person who was holding the box there. It threw me off for a second because the board had it at 3rd.
Yeah, on 1st down, they threw pass out there to Chapman. Then they threw one over here, and they hit the ground, and the quarterback ran one. So it will be 4th down.
And I think Coach Yeager's voicing his displeasure to the officials. That must be what he's talking about. I don't have him bugged to know exactly what he's saying. Probably a good thing. Some things we might not be able to repeat. as you well know, some of these coaches, we love them all, but sometimes they use some very choice words.
Some colorful language.
Yeah, not to say that Coach Yeager is doing that here tonight.
Yeah.
And that he's alone if he was. Nonetheless, here it's going to be about 4th and 8. What are you going into the Coach Moore playbook here, bag of tricks here? You got anything? Do you try something that's tricky, or do you try to maybe squib punt it, put Newell back there who once played quarterback and pin him deep if you don't get a.
I don't think he's going to punt it. I think he's going to throw it.
He's going to go for it.
He's going to go for it.
Still a steady, significant rainfall tonight in Virginia Beach. I can't imagine what the other fields are like across the area.
Where's Chapman lineup?
He's going to be to the far side.
Yeah. Trying to drag him across short.
Incomplete. Yep. He threw it behind Chapman out of his reach there in footsteps with Ponder. He's played a really good ball game and incomplete. 7 of 11 through the air for Ryan High tonight. Another 4th down try fails, Coach. But more than anything else, I think the thing that sticks out to me here is that Ryan High, of his 4 incompletions, they've all, I think, believe, come on 3rd or 4th down. Have they not? I want to say they have.
3rd or 4th, yeah.
So it's getting to those money downs, but they just haven't gotten that one play to get them over the hump to tie or take the lead in this ball game. As Salem will get its first possession. Princess Anne shoot up 3 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. And once again, they come up empty here as the Sun Devils will begin the second half, their first series, at their own 36-yard line. Saquon Miles operating at the quarterback, the junior. And now it's Desmond Green. He gets a couple before he is run into by the PA defense. Daniel Moree on that stop. What did you see on that one?
Well, I thought if he could have gotten back outside, the other side, he had a big gain coming. But there was penetration from the D lineman over here, cut him off. He had to go back. I had to throw the ball. He went back to run it.
So pick up of 3 for Green. Another throw. It's going to be incomplete. Intended for Green.
Third down. And that wasn't really a bad pass. The running back should have gone slightly downhill, and it would have been a completion. I think you run this one and then punt.
Play close to the vest. Don't. Yeah, I mean at this point, 6-0.
Run it, punt, and play defense.
3rd and 7 now for the Sun Devils. The 38-yard line. Miles. Incomplete again. And not the type of drive that Coach Wilson and his crew envisioned. And we've got a young man, I think he's down with, is that cramps? Michael Newell looks to be the guy playing both ways tonight. He was the quarterback a year ago for the Cavaliers, last season, almost 2 calendar years ago, as a 10th grader for a Cavaliers team that had a really good regular season. As you know, Coach, 8 wins versus just 2 losses. There were only 2 regular season losses in 2019 were the likes of Salem and Bayside. But we'll take a timeout and come back here, or we'll keep it right here actually. I want to remind you that our broadcast is brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. Revitalize your property today. This game will be archived for those that are just tuning in live here on Facebook Live. You can go back and watch the full broadcast, get our pregame, our halftime, and all the highlights and action from this Beach District opener for 2021 as Michael Newell is up off the ground here after, I'll tell you, those cramps are mean, Coach. I have to eat pickles to keep getting them in the middle of the night myself. They are no fun whatsoever. And that's one less option for PA when they get the ball back on offense, because he's been starting at wide receiver tonight. We haven't seen Zakir Brown play at all, so it really limits some of what Coach Yeager and the offensive staff can do in terms of helping out Ryan High at quarterback.
Right, and then you wonder if who they bring in will be a liability on defense.
There's the punt by Zamarion Harrell. And that will go, looks like it's going to be a 16-yard punt to the 45 of Princess Anne, where they will begin operating shop with 7:34 to go in this third quarter.
And Matt, I don't think he tried to kick that too hard. I don't think he wanted to. He didn't want to kick the ball down the field.
That was not his best punt. He had better punts, if I recall, in 2019.
Yeah.
And he's staying involved in all three phases tonight: offense, defense, special teams. Zamarion Harrell, who is going to Coastal Carolina, and what a year they had this past season in college football.
Didn't they have a year?
The Chanticleers. And, certainly they've recruited the Stillwater area before, hoping to get more football players like Zamarion Harrell, who you'd think could very well be a steal for them. He's got, in my estimation, from Power 5's looking at him early, and he could be a guy that sees the field earlier than later at Coastal Carolina if he continues to develop here.
Didn't hit them up in the middle this time.
And that's going to be Chapman. Fancy footwork, gets away from a couple defenders, and he gets close to the marker as he's brought down by the Sun Devils. Number 50, and another guy is down, this time on the Salem side of things. DeJuan Skinner brought him down on the tackle, but we'll tell you who the injured Sun Devil is in a moment. Chapman got about 8 yards on that one, his first carry. We'll take a timeout and give you an injury update here in a moment. Keep it tuned to us on Facebook Live.
As the Uncarrier, we use our brand, our people, and our network as catalysts for good. That's why we're launching the HBCU Scholars Program for students making an impact on their school and communities. We're providing programming and insights to help Black-owned small businesses get ahead, investing in Black communities, and supporting recruitment and training of diverse candidates for telecom careers. Leading by example, we know we are better together than apart.
All right, Jawan Johnson has been able to get up off the field after the injury there. He is a Salem starting running back and a defensive back at 5'9", 175 for the Sun Devils. Back here on Facebook Live, thanks for tuning in. Brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. Vitalize your property today with the coach Darnell Moore. I am Matt Hatfield. We've got 2nd and 2 now, minus Jawan Johnson on the defensive side of the field for the Sun Devils as the Cavaliers are in enemy territory at the Salem 47-yard line. Klein gets the snap, hands it off. That's the first carry of the night for number 5 for Princess Anne, Andrew D.J. James, the junior. Enough for a first down. Grant Gaffney, I believe, on that stop for the Sun Devils.
22.
Now at the 44-yard line. High will get the snap. Hands it off to Chapman. He gets some room. Makes a man miss, and he's going to be inside the 25-yard line. Down to the 25, it looks like. Or the 24. Before he is tripped up.
First down for Cavaliers.
Yes, they're spreading them out now to get them out of the box. And so it's 5 on 6 blocking, but 5 on 5 when you run one particular direction. You can eliminate one guy by running away from him.
Second longest play from scrimmage tonight for Princess Anne. The longest was a 27-yard hookup from Ryan High to Michael Newell, and Chapman now with 41 yards on the ground. The 24-yard line of Salem, they hand it back off to Chapman. Run to the right. And he will get near the marker as he is tackled by, looks like it was Dante Ponder in on the stop, but Tyshawn Chapman now is starting to put it into overdrive, Coach.
Right. And Salem switched the defense up to Chapman may be limping as well. Down on the sideline.
Yeah, he is down. Hoping it's
Cramps.
more than a cramp. Yeah. He is so valuable to what Princess Anne does. 9 yards on that carry. They're going to give him a first down. He got 10.
At the 15. Yeah.
At the 15.
Okay, quarterback's going to run this one.
With Chapman not in the game, it's DJ James who gets it up the middle. Oh, and he is met. Big hit by Zamorian Harrell.
Yep.
James carrying the ball.
I feel that on a Saturday morning.
Salem switched the defense up the last 3 plays. They're playing a 34 front here instead of the traditional 4.
What advantages or disadvantages does that pose at this point in the ballgame and where they're on the field?
Well, you give the other team bigger bubbles to run at with 3 down linemen as opposed to 4. And PA's brought
High will run to the right here. Gets a block on the perimeter from DJ James, and he has met another big hit from Zamorian Harrell. He's laying the lumber. I guess one of the advantages for Salem would be that they can run a little bit better east-west with their backers and secondary. The problem, though, is some of these guys are getting to that second level too quick.
That's right.
First and goal for the Cavaliers.
First and goal. I think they're going to spot it, Coach. It looks like it's at the, is that the 2-yard line? I can't quite tell.
It's about 1.5.
Nice drive. PA is inside the red zone again. Can they finish it off? As High goes up the middle between the left guard and the center. And he's in for a touchdown. The Cavaliers have tied this football game. Ryan High, the senior quarterback, with 4:11 to go in the third quarter. And folks, we have a ball game.
This could be the determining play in the game right here.
And that extra point is so important here in this 6-6 battle. Jesse Bonacali, the senior kicker, to try to break the tie. Snap is wide, and Newell's going to have to run, and he's going nowhere. He throws it somehow, and it's almost caught. You can see Jones breathing down his neck, and he threw it intended for number 15, Andre Corprew, incomplete, so we're tied at 6.
Yeah, he had it in his hands. You know,
the snap was wide. You know, it's a in harmony, Coach. You got to have the snap, the hold, the kick.
There you go, and the block, and blocking, because if he could have gotten a kickoff, I think it would have been blocked because the guy came right through the middle and touched. I think Newell did a yeoman's job being able to get up and get outside, and then be able to throw that thing with a man hanging on him after coming back in the game after cramps.
So we are tied here with the Salem Sun Devils and the Princess Anne Cavaliers at 6 apiece in the third quarter with 4:11 to go. They're also tied in Virginia Beach through 3 quarters of play with Tallwood and Lansdowne. No score there. Ocean Lakes leading Kellum 18-7. Still looking for a score with Cox and Kempsville, as well as Bayside and First Colonial. If you get that, tag it to us tonight on the Facebook Live. You can tag me at Matthew Hatfield, or even Coach Darnell Moore. He's up there on Facebook, are you not? You don't have a Twitter, but you have a Facebook.
I have Facebook. I have Twitter.
You just don't give it out. It's top secret. So the objective for tonight is to find out what Coach Moore's Twitter is.
It won't be hard to find.
It won't be hard to find. All right.
No, it won't be hard.
I'm at Hatfield Sports. You can tweet me as well if you get a score update on any of the games in the Beach District tonight. We'll pass them along before we bid adieu tonight on Facebook Live, as it is a good battle here with the Cavaliers and the Sun Devils. A lot of what we expected, evenly matched, 2 teams with a lot of athletes, and a good tussle right now.
Yeah.
Bonacali's kickoff here. It's going to be fair.
It's
going to be a penalty.
That's a penalty.
Oh, my goodness. You know, that's just a
and he doesn't even realize he got a penalty on it.
KJ Fonville, he's a talented young man, but just lost his head for a moment there. You can't do that with the fair catch. That'll be 15, is it not?
15 big ones.
Oh, That's costing.
That's going to put them at PH 45.
I was just about to say, too, this has been a well-played, clean game tonight. Only 2 penalties apiece, but that'll be the third on the Cavaliers, who only had 2 in the first half. 2 for Salem tonight, 1 at each half for a point. And, boy, that can really spark a Salem offense that has been stagnant for much of the night, other than that long 12-play, 85-yard drive they had.
A lot of the game has actually been played on Salem's half of the field, with the exception of that long drive that they had.
So true. And here we have it now where the Cavaliers will have to rely on their defense to come up big against the Sun Devils here. At the 45, pretty much the best field position that we've seen tonight for Salem. I mean, to your point, they've not had excellent field position to the way that Princess Anne has had, and that'll be a run.
Oh, it's about 7, 8 yards, yeah.
Good
pickup. Nice, tough run.
And that was Carter Gatlin, who's now in the game. Give him about a 7 on that carry before he is wrapped up. I believe that might have been Tino Grimes on that stop, if my eyes are not fooling me. They sometimes do that. 2nd and 3 inside the 40. Another run. A couple of PA defenders are there, but not before the Sun Devils move it forward for that first down, yeah. Carter Gatlin's got pretty good burst, Coach.
He does. He comes off that ball.
So Salem's got it down to 34.
I expect him to break one into the secondary in a minute.
The PA thing was saying, Coach, don't say that. Don't say that. We want to keep this thing tied up and eventually take the lead. But the Sun Devils, who have not lost to a Beach District foe since 2018. Who was the last Beach District foe to beat them? I got to look that up. That'll be our trivia question tonight. Carter Gatlin, as Coach Moore said, right up the middle. It wasn't all set up the gut. It was Carter Gatlin up the gut for a huge gain. That'll be a pickup of about 20 yards. 3 carries, 31 yards. Workmanlike. Inside the 15, give it back to him, and he's not going forward this time. He's going backwards as the Cavs found him. Miguel Rijo specifically. 6'1", 250-pound linebacker. Is that what he's listed at, 250? Is he that big?
He doesn't look that big.
Doesn't look that big to me either.
Nah.
I think he must have been on the Matt Hatfield diet, lost 20, 25 pounds. So he'll lose a couple on that play. Down to the 14. And they go back to the 18. That hurts his yard per carry average, and now Salem's got to figure out here on 2nd down.
Yeah, sprint out.
That's worked a little bit for Saquon Miles here. Miles, too high for his intended target. Incomplete, had pressure breathing down his neck. As you had was it Truesdale and Rijo. I'm sorry, Smith and Rijo breathing down his neck. Could not connect with his intended target, which was Trajan Tucker. And we have another young man down on the field. It's 3rd and 13 upcoming for 3rd and 14, excuse me, upcoming for Salem from the 18-yard line. Is that that's a Cavalier player, is it not?
Yeah, that's Cavalier.
Has Miles had a completion this half? I don't know that he has.
No, he hasn't.
Has not had a completion this half, so that will make it very challenging here on this 3rd down coming up. We'll take a timeout and come back with more 3rd quarter action here on Facebook Live with the Sun Devils and the Cavaliers.
New DQ rotisserie style chicken bites. I never thought unbreaded chicken this good was possible. I love you just the way you are. Finally, chicken that is tender, juicy, and flavorful all by itself. Thank you, DQ, for giving me just what I needed. DQ, happy tastes good.
All right, we are back here on Facebook Live as Tyshawn Chapman, number one in your program, and for many PA fans as well as UNC fans, he's number one in their heart. The North Carolina verbal commit junior dual athlete is able to get up and walk off under his own power here before this third down play. And do you scratch where it itches, as our pal Hank Sawyer likes to say, Coach, where the defense has that stud out of the game? Do you attack that area of the field?
Yeah, I think they're good at it. Oh,
Samarion Harrell running it, the powerful guy.
Reverse.
He lumbers forward. He won't get enough for the first down, but he'll get him closer to that marker.
Oh, yeah.
For fourth and about, it'll be about maybe six.
Six.
Yeah.
4th and 6.
It's 2 down territory, so why not? I like the move there by Coach Wilson and his crew as they get close to about the 11, 12-yard line. We'll give them about, it's like maybe it's like he got 7 yards on that play.
4th and 7. Going for the field goal.
They're going to go for the field goal. This will be, by my count, a 28-yarder for Evan Novotny. See if he can knock it through. It's just over a minute to go in this third quarter. Snap. Oh, but it's not able to be handled by the Sun Devils as Saquon Miles loses it and loses a lot, and it'll be a turnover on downs as he is
it's a tough situation.
Daniel Moree. Yeah, the snap was, I think, on point. He just bobbled it with it being so wet out there.
What have you.
And we have not been able to say tonight, snap down, hold down, kick good or down, so they'll lose a boatload on that about, I guess on your stat sheet, if you're keeping track at home, about 14, unfortunately, for Saquon. It's been very gutty tonight. And PA will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Defense needs to make a stand.
It really does at this point, because you feel like Princess Anne's
found something that worked, and they're going to come right back with the double wide out and one back.
Fonville walking off gingerly. With 7 minutes and change to go in the fourth quarter, we can tell you Lansdowne has taken the lead on Tallwood 6-0. We'll pass along some more scores for you in the Beach District as we get them. Ocean Lakes leading Kellam. Still looking for a score on the Cox, Kempsville, and the Bayside First Colonial games tonight. So Cavaliers here can probably get 2 plays off, at least one, before the end of this quarter. And up the middle they go for a minimal gain. In the congestion.
Salem switched back to a 4-man front that time. They were able to stop him.
Henderson on that stop as James gets maybe a yard, probably nothing, it looks like.
Back to the LOS.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to say movement up front. So it's going to be brought back. That wipes out the play anyways.
Right.
Five-yard penalty against Princess Anne.
That's PA's 4th penalty of the night.
Bristol 15.
And still can get 2 plays off at the game clock at 49 seconds. What you don't want if you're Coach James Yeager is
a turnover.
The turnover, and in addition to that, to be on 3rd and long to begin the fourth quarter inside your own 20 against the vaunted Black D that the Salem Sun Devils are known for, where they can send the house at you and
That's right.
create havoc. 2 receivers to each side for Ryan Home.
Quarterback is going to run this one.
High gets it. He's going to keep it. Scoot out to the right. And the tackle is there. Is that Samarion Harrell yet again?
It was the DB. You know, that one I can't catch his number now. Is it 3?
Might have been 3. Yeah,
3.
Jawan Johnson is back. That was Jawan.
Second and 13.
But flowing upfield really well. And just a couple on that keeper for high. And they will get one more playoff before the end of this third quarter. I'm showing a high tonight with unofficially 87 yards on 16 attempts.
Okay.
And we won't get the last up here. 3 quarters of play in the books. We're tied at 6. Salem 6, Princess Anne 6. Come on back for fourth quarter action.
Uneven concrete on your driveway, pool deck, patio, or walkway is unsightly and dangerous. Polyurethane injection from JES is an easy, affordable solution. Protect your greatest asset and call JES today. Owned and operated by professional engineers, our team gets it right the first time and has provided permanent solutions to over 70,000 homeowners. Every job we do starts with a free estimate and comes with a transferable long-term warranty.
That's the JES promise.
Back here on Facebook Live, our Beach District opener for 2020-21, brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. Revitalize your property today. Alongside the Coach Darnell Moore, I am Matt Hatfield. Thank you for tuning in tonight from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex for this final Friday of February. It's Princess Anne 6, Salem 6, and just like you rolling the dice, Coach, we're rolling sixes out here tonight at Sportsplex. Who will get 7 or more to win this ball game? We got 12 minutes to find out, maybe overtime to find out. You in for some extra fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the opening night.
Okay. I didn't know if Miss Faye was at home waiting for you at a certain time. You got to be in curfew or not. We're good.
She'll be asleep.
She's asleep. She should be watching this right now. All right, here we go. Princess Anne, 2nd and 13. Ryan High, going deep. Tyshawn Chapman is brought in. Big completion to start off the fourth period, and the Cavaliers are in business.
He's complete to Chapman.
And he has cramp.
That was what they were looking for all night long, Coach, as it's a huge gainer for Princess Anne. 45 yards to Tyshawn Chapman inside the 35-yard line.
First and 10 for the Cavaliers at the Salem 33.
They'll be at the Salem 33. Beautiful strike from High to Chapman.
Yep.
3 receivers to the left. Hand off to James. Oh, and he's met right away. That Salem defense coming up with a big tackle.
DJ James carrying.
Number 55.
That's Marion Mason. They got a couple of big guys on that line with Mason as well as Nathan Jedlick, 6'3", 235, Ethan Collingham. A few of those young men certainly formidable factors up front for Coach Wilson. 2nd and 8 coming up from 31. We're seeing Chapman more out wide at receiver and James in the backfield. I think that's a good mismatch for Princess Anne they can exploit again.
And then the empty set this time. It was confusing.
Cavaliers going to Tommy.
Timeout here. Interesting score to pass along, even though it's not a local score, Coach. I'm sure people around the state that follow Class 6, where you have Ocean Lakes out of the beach, as well as Oscar Smith and student Mingan Dinners. Lake Braddock leading Westfield tonight, 19-7 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, Westfield had won 3 consecutive state titles, going back from, I think it was 2015 to 2017. So that's a little bit of an eye-opening score tonight up in Northern Virginia. We'll pass along a few more scores as we get them tonight across the Hampton Roads area in high school football. Princess Anne trying to break the 6-all tie with the Salem Sun Devils early in the fourth period. 3 receivers to the left of Ryan High here. He gets the snap. He stutter steps. And he's going nowhere. Zamarion Harrell with the tackle for loss for that Salem defense. He's been everywhere tonight.
Over the field.
Unofficially, Coach, I've got him with 7 stops, 3 of which have been behind the line of scrimmage. One of those he assisted on. But Zamarion Harrell, will let you know, he's one of the best players in all of Tidewater.
And then that was for a loss of about 3.
A 3rd and now long from the Sun Devils' 36, we'll call it, yard line.
They need to hurry up. They can delay a game here.
They're very much in danger. They've used one of
They can
their
get a
3
delay a
timeouts.
game. See the official counting them all right now.
They're getting close to it.
Oh, they were lucky to get that one off.
They were. Chapman up the middle. A couple of defenders converged there with 24 and 7. We're talking about Harrell and Ponder. Check that. Johnson and Ponder. Every time I see the uniform of Johnson, it looks like Harrell, so it's been everywhere. So Chapman gets back what? He got back a good
Yeah,
chunk of that.
it's 4th and 5. You got about 8 yards there.
So another key 4th down for the Cavaliers. We'll call it 4th and 5 from the Salem 28-yard line. Ryan High gets away from a defender, and he'll move the chains for the Cavaliers. Ryan High closing in on 100 yards rushing tonight and leading this comeback for Princess Anne, which trailed by 6 at the break. Now smelling a lead here if they can finish this drive off.
That was a good run by High on that play. Good fake.
He's carried the football 18 times tonight. And we'll get an official's timeout here. Is that almost a sideline warning, right? Tell him to get back.
Well, they were out rubbing the guy's leg down without benefit of a timeout.
On the 18. Up the gut there. Quarterback draw. And no wearing down of Ryan High tonight as he continues to churn those legs forward for positive yardage. This is reminiscent of that second quarter drive, Coach, that we saw Salem have. And it's
That's
not
right.
going to be an 85-yarder, 12-play variety, but Princess Anne very methodical here. Second and 8 from the 16. Toss play. Chapman brought down by Henderson.
Good game there.
Down to the 10-yard line.
Third and 1 for the Cavaliers.
Going to be 3rd and about 1, maybe 2 yards from the 10. As Chapman is working on 65 yards rushing to go with his 56 yards receiving. 50 yards receiving. I form up the middle to James. He's going nowhere. No gain as the Salem defensive line was ready for it with, looks like, number 65, Ethan Collingham.
A little disappointed in that play. They go with 2 backs in the backfield and they give it to the up back.
They had not really shown I-4 much of the night, have they?
That was the first time they've been in that formation.
Fourth down.
Here we go, 4th down, high, rolling to his left. He's going to keep it. Is he going to
Short.
make it? Does not look like he did, as two
Short.
Salem defenders are there to bring him down.
He's short.
What a job by the Sun Devils defense, and I know one of those players in the fray yet again, Coach Moore, was Dante Ponder, junior linebacker,
Yep.
making a name for himself tonight.
He's going to work hard.
It's like maybe either Malachi Jones or Jawan Johnson, one of those DBs, was in the action too. I think High only got a yard, so it's going to be 1st down and 10 from their own 9-yard line. For Salem now here with 5:39 to play.
Where they going to make sure they don't have a turnover down in this area.
Ponder had a minute to get his breath, get some water, and run back in there. He's got 8 tackles unofficially tonight, 5 of the solo variety, a couple behind the line of scrimmage, and we'll get another whistle as somebody or something's not set. One referee is pointing as if it's on Princess Anne here. Too many men on the field, perhaps?
Maybe so.
Substitution infraction, something of that nature.
Yeah, too many men. Something like that just ran off.
Penalty against PA for legal substitution. 1st and 5.
Legal substitution. So here we have it now. Handoff to Johnson. He's met immediately on the outside by a couple of Cavaliers, one of which is Fonville, the other is Sherman. And he's a little bit woozy after that tackle, Coach.
Yep.
We've seen some
Illegal
big hits
procedure on
tonight.
Salem.
Seen some big hits tonight.
Yeah, they'll land some leather out there.
So that will wipe out the run play, will it not?
Yep.
So bring them back from
Make
the
it.
14 to the, so they mark it back to half the distance, right? To the 7?
It'll be, now take it back to the original line of scrimmage.
Original line of scrimmage, okay.
5-yard penalty. It's still 1st and 10.
Back where you started, bro.
Basically, we got a restart after maybe 10, 20 seconds of.
Whoa.
Desmond Green around the edge.
That was a good run there. Picked up.
Meets him. Slow to get up is Green.
Picked up 12 yards.
1st down for Green and the Sun Devils.
Desmond Green with his best play from scrimmage tonight. Headed to Harrisonburg to play at JMU at the next level. Was originally committed to Navy, if memory serves me right. The midshipmen have had a lot of success recruiting in the Tidewater area.
Yeah, I tell you, they really have.
But JMU is well known in these circles too, with a couple of national championships in their history. One under Mike Houston, one under Mickey Matthews before that. Now Kurt Signetti trying to lead them to another title there, as that's going to be a keeper for Miles getting forward past the 25-yard line before he is brought down. Credit Truesdale among those players on the tackle for PA.
Matt, we may be looking at overtime. Yeah.
7 for the Sun Devils.
And at this point, is that a bad thing if you're looking at it from a Salem perspective?
No, it isn't.
I was thinking the same thing. Because really the first half, they kind of controlled the flow as far as getting stops. Princess Anne has been eerily close a couple of times to taking the lead. They certainly tied it up.
Yep.
But the Salem offense has not really smelled red zone area at all. And in overtime, you might, being the shorter distance.
The shorter field, yeah. Maybe just what you need.
Feeling pretty confident about that. So there might be a little bit more of an anxiousness on the PA side to get something, to get the ball back here.
I'm thinking if PA does get the ball back, they're going to throw it.
We'll take a quick timeout. Come on back here on Facebook Live.
With Metro by T-Mobile and her new iPhone SE, Camila rules. She's working hard and working even harder for herself. Also, when opportunity calls, she can be ready for her dream job. You work hard for your money. Make it go further with Metro by T-Mobile. Right now, get the powerful iPhone SE for less than $50 when you switch. All on the full power of the T-Mobile.
This broadcast brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals here from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Salem and Princess Anne tied up at 6 with under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Saquon Miles' quarterback keeper will go nowhere as the Princess Anne defense is ready for it, Coach Moore.
Yeah, but he had a hole. He missed it. Yeah, he really had one and missed it. PA did a good job recovering there.
So maybe a couple of yards there for Miles. You can get some to the
3rd and 5.
38. $34 tough yards right on 13 carries for Saquon Miles. Just the lone completion in the first half to Malachi Jones here as Miles gets the shotgun snap. Fakes the handoff. It's going to be the second guy in the backfield to get it, and he's going to be short of the first down. As you see Sherman, one of the tackles. So Marion had that 1 7-yard run for Salem. He's going to be a couple yards short of the first down as Riho and Sherman were there to prevent him from moving the chains.
4th and 1.
And guess what Coach Wilson is lining up to do here with under 3 minutes to go. 4th and 1 from Salem's 33-yard line. Is he trying to draw him off sides?
Yeah, he's trying to draw him off side.
Ooh, someone almost flinched. And he will use the timeout. I know he likes to take chances, but I don't know that he wants to be Tommy Tuberville and be the Riverboat Gambler in this spot.
He didn't want to step
or
the
Les
ball.
Miles. They call it Les Miles, Riverboat Gambler, yeah.
Last time the quarterback was in the center, he fumbled in that 4th down situation.
So a timeout with 2:20 to play. Princess Anne 6, Salem 6. Now, Princess Anne gets the football back. Should they not line up to go for it? Are you cautious in your approach, or if you're PA, are you aggressive, thinking you'll just hit the big play and win this ball game?
If PA gets the ball back here, they have opportunity to run it up, throw it. They have, they can do either. But if Salem kicks it, they still have time to run the ball. But I think it would be tough.
I think it would be more tempting to go for it here if you're around midfield, not inside around 35.
Don't be surprised he doesn't try to draw him offside again.
Well, he has one more timeout left in the pocket. I would be surprised if he goes for it here. It's like, is that? Oh, he goes for it. And one by Saquon Miles. He gets past the 45, loses his shoe, or somebody loses his shoe. It wasn't Saquon. It was a teammate. They throw it on the sideline and say, we don't need the shoe. We need Saquon Miles more than we need the shoe. And we got ourselves a first down. Wow. 16 yards to the 48.
Yeah, and that was riverboat gambling.
Yes, it was. They got tight underneath center. They've been in shotgun most of the day, and that one worked for the Sun Devils. Now back in the shotgun snap. Miles fakes the handoff. He keeps it. As Harrell runs to his side, but it'll be a quick tackle by Miguel Rijo, and we'll get a timeout here, or some kind of whistle. I think PA called a timeout.
Illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure movement. That's tough for the Sun Devils. Not a lot of time, Coach. Can you put yourself in field goal range without having put the ball in the air? That's the question now for Salem here, given the time and the field position.
I don't think they've had a run over, 12 yards all night?
Their longest run was the 18-yard by
Okay.
Miles. He just had a
Yeah.
16-yarder. But to the point, Gatlin had a 20-yard gain. Most of their runs have been in that 3-yard to 6-yard range.
Yeah. And then, they've had trouble getting the ball down on extra points or field goals.
First and about 14, 15 yards at their own 43 now for the Sun Devils, who will have Miles run to the sideline, get out of bounds to stop the clock, and right there to keep him from gaining much at all is Hunter Sherman.
Hunter Sherman.
So here we go. It's going to be Salem from their own 45 as we tick near 1 minute to play. Just 2 yards for Miles on that run.
Yeah, Salem may have been better suited if they stayed in bounds on that and let the clock run at this point.
Carter Gatlin in the backfield with Miles. You've got Zamarion Harrell at one tight end spot, Isaiah Henderson at the other. The two FBS talents for Salem along the line of scrimmage operating against that Princess Anne front, headlined by James Smith. Miles, now they motion to man, only guy in the backfield. Quick pass to Carter Gatlin. Incomplete. What a hit. Was that Michael Newell that came up?
Newell, yeah.
Boy, did not think we'd see that impact play. He came up like a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
Well, they don't have any fear of Salem throwing the ball deep or throwing the ball down the field for that much.
And conservative throws for Salem. They're not testing. Right. They had that one throw over the middle earlier intended for Henderson that they could not hook up on. We know Jones had the very sure-handed. I'm surprised they've not looked Jones's way on some of these pass plays on the outside.
I'm surprised they haven't kept that clock running because these guys can get that ball back and throw it.
That's a good point. And all it takes is for one strike to the guy known as Little Doc Chapman to walk out of here with a victory in dramatic fashion if you're Princess Anne.
Right.
Third down now from the 45-yard line. Quick toss out to Carter Gatlin. He spins away from a tackler. James Smith spins away from him too. And he's going to get nothing here, and Princess Anne will probably burn that timeout, and they will. No gain. And now that is the risk you run if you're Salem, not running it on second and third down as opposed to just doing a quick toss on third down.
And now you wonder, do they punt the ball or do they just run it and make them have to go 45 yards? Take the chance of punting it and getting it blocked?
Well, not just the block. I would worry about the snap here because the snaps have been very funky here in the last quarter and change. We saw the extra point try for PA, and obviously Salem had some trouble with some snapping earlier on the Novotny field goal attempt.
Yeah,
so you could have it sail, and Harold did not have a really successful punt. His last one was, 15 yards? So
yeah, they're going to punt it.
And this is an adventure, as are a lot of these punts. A lot of low-scoring games around the area tonight. Fourth quarter, Norview leads Churchland 6-0. Maury leads Booker T. Washington 19-8 through 3 quarters of play. It's a final now. Lansdowne has beaten Tallwood 13-0. And here's the punt for Zamarion Harrell. That one might take a – no, it does not take a friendly bounce. It goes all of 8 yards, Coach. 8-yard punt for the Sun Devils. And, you see some laughter. It's good-natured laughter for PA. Mm-hmm. However, you know this as a coach. You don't want that good-natured laughter to come off as antagonizing or unsportsmanlike. So the PA staff might want to keep that from happening to have a penalty that backs you up. You got a golden chance here. It's going to actually be a 5-yard punt, Coach, for Salem.
That's right.
42 seconds.
It was a safe punt.
You would have been better off going for it now in hindsight, which is always 20/20. 42 seconds. Do the Cavaliers have some magic left in regulation, or are we headed to overtime? Ryan High. Signal caller rolling to his right, and it's unable to be hauled in by Chapman. I'm not sure he would have been completed anyway because he was out of bounds.
He was on out of bounds.
But those are the safe throws you want to take here, because with only one timeout remaining, 35 seconds to go, unless you move the chains, the clock doesn't stop, and when you line up, it does begin again.
There you go.
So now you're going to see on the right side, it's going to be James, number 5, Newell, number 3. On the left side, you'll have Fonville and Chapman, who will be in the slot, where he's a really tricky cover. Although they're going to switch it now. Chapman will be outside near the PA sideline, Fonville in the slot. You usually have the bigger guy on the outside, the smaller guy with the speed in the slot. But what do I know? If High throws it over to Chapman, I do know he can be dangerous if he catches it. That time he tried to run before he looked it in.
Tried to see where the DB was.
Are you able to exhale yet for Salem's defense, or not until this third down play results in?
Not until the fourth down play.
It's intended for Chapman, incomplete, third down.
Are you dropping an extra guy in coverage here to be safe? It goes back to that, we saw that in the NFL, that play with the Jets late in the year. You remember where they got burned playing prevent.
Well, you worry about whether the quarterback takes off and run.
Which he can do, as High has escaped a lot tonight for nearly 100 yards rushing. This time he's got very little running room as he is tripped up by Isaiah Henderson, and the clock will continue to run. Big stop by Henderson there, as he will keep him from gaining real estate.
And he looked like he was going to step up. And at first he looked like he was going to step up inside and run.
He's been more effective on his runs kind of within the tackle box than getting outside.
And bouncing it outside.
Final timeout used by Salem with 8 seconds to play in regulation, as we're tied at 6 apiece. Probably headed for overtime unless we have a miraculous punt blocker return. Again, thank you to Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals for sponsoring our Facebook Live broadcast tonight. Revitalize your property today. Check out Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. With the coach Darnell Moore, championship coach, on his way to Hall of Fame credentials real soon, formerly of Bayside High in Virginia Beach and Woodrow Wilson. He's already got the credentials, I should say, on his way to Hall of Fame induction. I am Matt Hatfield, hoping to be around and visit when you get that call to the Hall. Who's going to have that call to the end zone for a game-winning touchdown? It might not come down to a touchdown, Coach. It could be the kickers that decide this in OT.
Could very well do that. Could be the kicker, could be the snap.
And do you go for 2? Should we get to overtime and get a touchdown? Do you go for 2 instead of trying the snap and the probability of it? I think both coaches certainly, that's going through their mind right now. Is lots racing through their minds. Coach Yeager for PA and Coach Wilson for Salem, along with their assistants here. PA hoping to get this punt off without any disaster here. And it rolls, it bounces. It was blown dead before they could even punt it away with Newell. And false start, some movement. PA's 6th penalty of the evening. So that'll back up the Cavaliers 5 yards, and the referees are yelling 8 seconds on the clock. We'll put 8 seconds back on the clock here as PA and Salem are deadlocked at 6. Coach, I was going to say if it was under 5, not with 8 can you do this, but with under 5 you could just tell your punter to run around with it and just go down. Is that something you practice often as coaches in this spot?
Yeah.
And not even have the long snap, which now they've got High in, so I guess they thought about maybe just...
Well, if you run one play, that'll be it.
Throw the Hail Mary pass in the end zone and you avoid disaster for the most part. He's going to take the snap, and it's going to be Newell just running around. I'm sorry, Chapman running around. And now he's going to go upfield, and he gets about 7 yards out of it as we are headed to overtime at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex in this season opener. How fitting. They've waited so long to play. Let's let them play some more.
Play a little
with the
longer.
Cavaliers and Sun Devils deadlocked at 6 apiece. Did you get your money's worth, folks? We're going to take a timeout and have overtime coming your way on Facebook Live.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
As the Uncarrier, we use our brand, our people, and our network as catalysts for good. That's why we're launching the HBCU Scholars Program for students making an impact on their school and communities. We're providing programming and insights to help Black-owned small businesses get ahead, investing in Black communities, and supporting recruitment and training of diverse candidates for telecom careers. Leading by example, we know we are better together than apart.
Back here from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, our Facebook Live broadcast tonight brought to you by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. Revitalize your property today. 4 quarters, 12 minutes each. Not enough to decide a victor in this 2020-21 opener between the Salem Sun Devils and Princess Anne Cavaliers. All knotted up at 6 apiece. With the coach Darnell Moore, I am Matt Hatfield. And overtime we are going to have here as they just had the coin toss with the coaches on the field, Coach Sean Wilson of Salem and James Yeager of Princess Anne. We had a first-half touchdown run by Saquon Miles from 2 yards out to cap a 12-play, 85-yard drive that lasted 6 minutes and 41 seconds for the Sun Devils. The extra point try would be unsuccessful. Princess Anne, though, responded here in the second half, knotting the score up on a touchdown themselves by Ryan High from 2 yards out. He's got 92 yards rushing tonight on 21 attempts. Tyshawn Chapman, how electric has he been? 122 yards from scrimmage on 17 touches, 11 of the rushing variety, 6 receptions. And it'll be Princess Anne football to begin the overtime here. From the 10-yard line, each team will get a chance here in the OT. And PA has it first here in overtime at the 10-yard line of Salem. And Coach Moore will be high, operating under center instead of shotgun here at the 10. He tosses it out to Chapman, who makes a defender miss, and Johnson, and he gets about 5, maybe 6 yards before he is wrapped up by Salem's Grant Gaffney.
That was a good run by Chapman. I'm amazed how these guys got these cramps earlier in the game, and they still were able to come back in and play without any hesitancy.
It is admirable. I'd be done after the first run. I wouldn't last the second carry, particularly in the rain.
Yeah.
I'd have checked out then. But these kids are so happy to be back on the field. First game in more than 400 days, going back to the calendar year of 2019. Salem's last game on Thanksgiving weekend in November. Princess Anne in early November when they fell to Woodside in the regional quarterfinals. Here's High. He's going to keep it. He sees pay dirt, and he will get in for a touchdown, but there's a flag on the play. This could be coming back. PA can't celebrate just yet. This one's coming back on a hold.
Oh, wow. That's a big call there.
Well, and for those that are wondering, how big is a hold in overtime as opposed to regulation? It really changes up where you operate from, right?
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, it changes up
They go from the 5-yard line and they move back to the 20.
Oh, a devastating penalty. In fact, the longest of yardage variety, I think, of the night for them. Actually, they had that 115-yard.
I'm sorry.
They're putting it to 14. 10-yard penalty,
okay.
yeah.
10-yard penalty.
10-yard penalty.
15-yard, yeah. 10-yard penalty.
So second and goal from the Salem 14. But now this could put into play the kicking game and a field goal try. Here's High under center, rolling to the left. Not going to pitch it, and he does pitch it last minute as he is drilled by Zamori on Harrell. Did Salem recover that, or was he down? I think he was down.
Salem recovered it.
They recovered it?
Yeah, they did, but I think they're going to call him down.
I think he was down. So Marion Harrell bringing the heat on defense. And I did hear a yell of timeout, and I think it's going to be a Coach Yeager calling the timeout. As Princess Anne is going backwards as opposed to forward, and now Coach McGowan, along with Coach Wilson, they'll trot out there and talk to their defensive mates. The two leaders you see there, the cornerstones, Harrell and Henderson, they have been factors as expected tonight.
They played very big roles in this game.
This has been an old-fashioned backyard brawl, hasn't it?
It really has, and these guys are living up to the billing. PA's played very tough. And I got to think they can throw that thing here. Toss it and let the back throw it.
Third down, you know, Chapman has been their highlight guy, but maybe they'll go from Newell here to the right. Near screen here. He's going to Newell. High's pass is deflected by Desmond Green, who makes a good play.
Nearly intercepted.
So Desmond Green stepping up there. Newell began by completing 8 of his first 12 passes. The last 3 have been incomplete here as it's 4th down. And decision time, Coach. Looks like this
they're going to kick it.
Maybe a field goal for our guy Jesse Bonacali, the Cavaliers. Bonacali's kick is going to be from, I think, measuring out at 33 yards out. But he is straight away.
It's going to be 35 total from the 25-yard line.
Snap is high. They get it down. Bonacali's kick is blocked. Number 5 with the block. It's scooted around. And it's going to be picked up at the 45. And run back.
Oh, man.
Not to the end zone as Smith will tackle.
Wow. That was something.
Unbelievable. I think that was Jawan Johnson who blocked at number 3. I believe it was.
Well, there was the thing we were talking about the snaps.
51 being helped off for PA, Gabe Navarro. Now, for those that are wondering, a blocked field goal in overtime can be advanced for a score the other way?
Yes.
And the game can end if he gets in the end zone.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if he doesn't because now you get the ball and
you get the ball, you got the opportunity to score.
Jawan Johnson blocking the field goal for Salem. And all it takes is any kind of score for the Sun Devils. Field goal, touchdown, ball game's over, and they win. They come out of this one on a rainy Friday night in February at the Sportsplex with a win. Might not be pretty, but hey, an ugly win's better than a pretty loss.
I take every day.
How big was the tackle by Smith, though? Because if he doesn't catch, couldn't tell if that was Harrell. I think that was Harrell. Running the other way, Salem wins the game in one of the wildest ways you can have a high school football game in.
Opening of the year.
I'm sure you've won and lost in overtime, but probably never lost on a blocked field goal going the other way in overtime.
No.
Okay.
Matter of fact, you know what? Never lost in overtime.
Oh, look at you. I need you to be on the sideline. Good luck charm. How about that? It's a good little nugget. I learned something tonight. Learned a lot tonight.
Saquon's hand here.
Saquon Miles, touchdown. Salem wins it in overtime. The Sun Devils prevail. A crazy finish tonight in Virginia Beach. Saquon Miles, the hero, and the Sun Devils prevail over the Cavaliers. What a way to start this 2021 Beach District football campaign. They'll head to March with a victory under their belts. Get ready for next week's game with the Tallwood Lions while the Cavaliers of Princess Anne look to regroup at home against First Colonial. 12-6 our final in OT. Saquon Miles scoring both touchdowns to win it for the Sun Devils, Coach.
This was a good game. It was a good game, and I think that PA acquitted themselves very well, and so did Salem.
So the Sun Devils win it on Saquon Miles' touchdown run, 12-6. Our broadcast brought to you tonight by Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals. We thank them and all of you, hundreds of folks watching out there on Facebook Live tonight. Before we hang it up, Coach Moore, and we'll have some final stats. We'll tweak them out, report them out later on. Some final thoughts. It was great to be back up here watching some football with you, the living legend, as I call you, and hopefully we can do more of this. This was tremendous to see for these young athletes after all the waiting. 2 teams left it all on the field tonight. We got a good ball game.
It was a very good ball game for to be the opening game of the season, and the mistakes were not plentiful, you know, and you think that the way the practices have been going and everything, that, you know, you could have any kinds of miscues out here on the field. You know, the rain caused a little bit of havoc with some of the snaps and what have you, but that's to be expected. The young fellows played a terrific game, guys on both sides, and PA doesn't have anything to be ashamed of. They played very well.
Not at all. I think they're going to be heard from before the season is over, and the heroes again, Jawan Johnson blocking the field goal. We saw what Zamarion Harrell and Isaiah Henderson did on defense, and Saquon Miles winning it with the 10-yard touchdown run. Oh, by the way, Ryan High accounted for 90 yards rushing. He threw for 71 yards. Tyshawn Chapman, 128 yards from scrimmage tonight on 18 touches, 12 rushes, 6 receptions. And that'll do it. We want to thank all of our hardworking team here with Chuck Thornton and Nick and the gang and everybody here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. For the coach, Darnell Moore, I'm Matt Hatfield. Thank you for watching this Beach District opener on Facebook Live, and enjoy your Friday night to close out the month of February.
Man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.